Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीपीटी फाउंडर आचार्य सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड श्री प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मथुरापुरी धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र से जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र मैया की श्री श्री गौर निताय की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale. Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललितां श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Welcome to our continuation of Bhakti Vaibhav course, Unit 6, in which we discussed 16th and 17th chapters, and we started with 18th chapter. So before we proceed with the 13th verse, the most important verse, recollection of yesterday's class, without seeing in the notes. Yes. Hmm. Yes, chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Instruction? Hmm. Yes, instruction of the spiritual master will act as armor to overcome Kali's influence. Hmm. Hmm. Identifying the perpetrator involves us in the similar way. Hmm. 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 Which are the four pillars? Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness. And they keep reducing. Hmm. Hmm. Truthfulness also will be. Hmm. Yes. Which are contrary to or opposite to the four pillars. Yes. Hmm. 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 Yeah. We cannot just say, okay, we have to be active. Hmm. 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 Greatness of colleagues. The bad activities, unless done, don't give bad results. But pious activities, even not thought of, give the pious results. So I was telling in the mind, you can do a lot of pious activities, but the topmost pious activities are devotional activities. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanam. So we could visit the holy place. Or visit the holy place means we have already visited, so we can remember that. We can chant in the mind, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We can recollect the shlokas. So all that is beneficial. Yes. Fox story. Hmm. Got caught. Undue advantage you took. Hmm. Yes. So if we are in passion, then we present ourselves as more advanced than what we actually are. Hmm. And if we are in ignorance, then we don't act
So we
only.
don't.
And if we are in the mode of goodness, as much as advanced we are inside, that much only we are seen advanced outside. And if you are in pure goodness, you are more advanced inside, and the world does not know that because you will not reveal it. And the world is not on that level. People are not so pure to be able to identify that you are very advanced. It takes one to know one. So those who are very pure, they will be able to understand, oh, this is very advanced. You understand? So let us be at least in the mode of goodness, not portraying ourselves to be more advanced than what we are. So be honest. Mhm. Otherwise, in the provoking situation, we'll be caught red-handed. We'll be exposed. This garland is nice, Mahaprasad. But only thing is, marigold means it leaves stains. Yeah, our Prabhu was telling that some stains are there. So mostly this is because of garland. Marigold is very powerful. If you marry, gold you'll have to give because it will come on your body. Hmm. So I don't know what to do. Should I continue wearing? Empowerment is required, but what is the way? Huh? After some time. Okay, take it. You are empowering me. But if something happens to kurta, I will give it to you. Or you have to wash. Hmm. That he told, you arrived late. Hmm. Any other? Yes. Hmm. In the age of Kali. Yes. Any other? Oh, let us welcome Pranjal Prabhu, who is giving physical association. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'm welcoming because next verse is saying that Tulayam Lave Napi. Hmm? Even a moment's association of great soul hmm, is very beneficial. So Prabhu was not giving, I was not having enough pious credits to have his physical association. I think 3 days of speaking Krishna Katha has increased my pious credits. So now I'm getting his association. Thank you, Prabhu, for coming all the way from Hinjewadi. Okay. Okay, so we'll continue. 13th verse is very important verse. This is quoted at least 2 times in Srimad Bhagavatam, maybe 3 times. I'm not sure. If you give search in Vedabase, you may see that. Amazing. So please repeat. Tulayam lavenapi न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवम् भगवत् संगी संगस्य मर्त्यानां किमुताशिषः. The value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death. Mm. So, very important. This talks about glorification of Sutta Goswami because he is being glorified by the Shaunakrushi and other sages of Naimisharanya. We're talking about moments, association of pure devotee can give us everything. As that other verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastrikaya, Lava Matra, Sadhu Sange, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Even moments or 1/14th of the second of a second can reach, take one to all perfection. Sarva Siddhi Hoy, all perfection in all aspects of life. In one sense, one will be remembering Krishna 24 hours, the associating with sadhus. So, association of sadhus is most important, most desirable. Several places it is glorified in Srimad Bhagavatam. All throughout the Vedic literatures, but in Srimad Bhagavatam, it stands out like anything. When I read Srimad Bhagavatam for the first time, it took around 5.5 years because so many other things were also there. We had to undergo some exams for getting Brahman Diksha. In those days, this Bhakti Shastri course and all was not there. This is before 2003. So then we had some 200 verses of Bhagavad Gita as it is, and then I know something like that. Some Vaishnava etiquettes. So those things were there. Plus with youth preaching was there. I was cook in GGD voice, Giri Govardhan Dham voice. So I was cook, so I was quite busy. 3 cookings I was doing: breakfast, lunch, dinner. And worst of the cooking because even now I am not knowing how to cook properly. So what to speak of in those days. Along with that, it took 5.5 years. So it was a long span, but still, the overall understanding of Bhagavatam was Krishna loves his devotees like anything, and if you do any harm to devotees, you will be in trouble. He will give you proper punishment. Mm. So that was my overall understanding of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. I am not yet realized that. I understood that, but certainly we must have committed mistakes in dealing with devotees. So offense happened, and then we get punished like that. In the purport, Prabhupada says one cannot compare the association of a pure devotee to anything material. Just like it is said for Lord Ram's face. Lord Ram's face is as beautiful as Lord Ram's face. You cannot compare it with anything. So what to do? One poet said that. So nothing of this world. Those who are fools, uninformed people, they may say, no, 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 more important than devotee association is this. Or equal to association with devotees is this. So they are less informed or they are ignorant. Those who are advanced in spiritual life, they'll understand. Association of sadhus is topmost thing. In fact, more than the holy name also, chanting of the holy name is association because in association we can chant the holy name. How many of you went to market, purchased beads came to your room, house, whatever. I started chanting the holy name. Hmm. We came in association with some devotee, and the devotee gave the beads. So please chant. I in second week of January 1996, when I went first time for ISKCON program, youth program, when I was studying. So that time after the program was over, we were three of us, all three in electrical engineering, first year of engineering. So then my friend, one roommate, Anand Kulkarni, he was RSS person, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. So he felt this is too spiritual. As soon as class got over, Prasad he got, he just left. So we were only two, myself and Anand Prakash Tripathi, who was from UP, Uttar Pradesh. So he said, "Chalo yaar, sadhu ke charan chute hain. We'll touch the lotus feet of this sadhu." So then both of us went. There were some one or two boys talking to Radheshyam who had given class and everything. So we waited for a while. After that boy left, then we both paid obeisances in our own style. He was from North India. For them, Pailagu. They touch like this and maybe put to head. But I was from Maharashtra, so I wanted to touch my head. We have to keep our head on the lotus feet of that person, whomever we are, father, mother, sadhu, whosoever. So I was saying, this sadhu's feet are covered. So how will I put? And he was sitting also cross-legged, no? So how can I? Where to keep head? And we cannot take the lotus foot out of his dhoti also. So momentarily I was confused, but then I thought time is not there anyway. And he had paid obeisances already, his style. So then I put my head very close to Radheshyam's lotus feet, like that. And then he saw two boys, young boys. So he asked our names, what do you do? And we told all that. So then we were very happy. So then he asked me in the conversation that, are you chanting the holy name? And I said, yes. And he was surprised. Are, first time the boy has come. How is he chanting? So then he asked, what do you chant? I said, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So, oh, very good. You are a devotee of Lord Ram. You come from very nice family. So next question, clean bold. He asked, how many rounds you chant? Rounds. I said, no, my beats are in my hometown only. I chant while taking bath and things like that, along with that. So, oh, very good, very good. Very good. So, can you chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Yeah. So, you have to. So, because I was impressed by his whole personality, his kirtans, question answer session, and everything was nice only about that place. So I said, yes, I can chant. So, but I said, I don't have beats. He said, no, no, we'll give you beats. So then I said, I don't have money because I had not carried any money only. I had thousands of rupees in the bank and few hundred rupees in the hostel room. So then he said, no, no, that is not a problem. So he immediately called one boy to get beats and he gave the beats to me. He said, please chant one round of Hare Krishna Mantra every day. So bond contract was signed right on the first in the first meeting only. So next day morning onwards, I started chanting. I don't remember, but second week of Friday. This was Thursday evening. So Friday, second week of January 1996, I started chanting one because I used to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning in hostel. After getting ready, I would go to terrace to do exercise, bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is it was never built, but whatever, at least mentally. So then Shirshasana and something like that. So then one more proper asana, devotional activity. Then that was given. So I still remember fondly that thing. It was amazing. In my childhood, I used to chant, but this was amazing. This is unforgettable moment. So a sadhu sangha only leads to bhajan kriya. It's very charming. So he says a devotee has nothing to do with anything material, for is exclusively engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Since he has nothing to do with but anything material, what pleasure can he derive from material benedictions like kingship or other overlordships, which are finished quickly with the end of the body? So devotional service is eternal. So that has to be. We can speak unlimitedly on this verse. I already spoke about my personal life, so time is less. But mm, in advancement in spiritual life means understanding this, that devotees are very important in my life. Chanting is there, but without devotees, I cannot chant alone. Ekaki amar nahi paye bal hari naam sankirtane. तुम्ही कृपा करी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया देह कृष्ण नाम धने. For my dear spiritual master, alone I cannot chant the holy name of the Lord. Or this is for devotees. Oh, hey Vaishnava Thakur. एकाकी अमर nahi पाए हरिनाम संगीत. Just imagine the same temple hall every morning. You are all alone, 5:30 to 7:30. what will be the quality of chanting? Might as well mats are spread, we'll sleep only there. The only holy name will be heard will be Miss, I'm talking about myself. You are all great souls. You are able to chant alone, but it's very difficult alone. But with devotees, when we start, when we end, we don't understand. So, my dear Vaishnava, please give me one drop of that faith. You have oceanic faith. So, give me one drop so that I can chant the holy name of the Lord. So, devotional service cannot be performed alone. Prabhupada, one devotee said something like that. So Prabhupada said that if somebody thinks that he can make it alone in spiritual life, he is insane. Insane means he's mad, crazy fellow. Alone we cannot. Even in the Bhakti Lata Kripar, the Kripar of devotional service that is explained in 19th chapter, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself to Srila Rupa Goswami, and Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami explains that. So there he says that this Bhaktilata Bij, though it grows, hmm, it grows into creeper and it goes up, 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 up. It crosses the universal shell. Then through Brahmajyoti, it goes to Vaikuntha. And there it takes in Golok Vrindavan, beyond Vaikuntha. And it takes shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. It gets intertwined with Krishna's lotus feet. And then it produces fruit of love of Godhead, Krishna Prem. And it is said that that will be ripened, it will fall here on earth in our garden for the gardener, that is individual devotee, and he can test it. But while testing, watering of the creeper should continue. He can test with his right hand, which is the right etiquette for testing prasadam. He should not eat with right left hand. But then with left hand, your hose pipe or whichever the pipe, you can continue watering the Bhakti Lata creeper, Bhakti Lata. Otherwise, Lata will dry up. Tree in the initial stages we have to water. Then once it becomes robust tree or quite big tree, then the roots go in all directions to find out where the water is. The tree derives its own water. It doesn't need external watering. But creeper is not like that. It requires everyday watering. So one has to do Shravanam and Kirtanam, even if Krishna Prem is achieved. Otherwise, the creeper will dry up. The moment one stops watering, it will stop growing, it will dry up. And what is this watering compared to Shravanam and Kirtanam? Mm, Glorifying the Lord and hearing about the Lord. And that is possible only in the association of devotee. Just like now I am speaking only because you all are present. If nobody is present, how will I do Kirtanam? Shravanam, you are also able to do Shravanam because others are there or somebody there to speak. Parikshit Maharaj is going to hear from Shukdev Goswami. So we need to continue association of devotees. No point of time one can think that I will make it alone. That is improper. Anyway, we will not expand too much upon this meaning, but about this, our time is less. So Srila Vishwanath Chakti Thakur says, we should not compare the results of karma, attainment of swarga, or the results of jnana, liberation, with a small particle of association of devotees, Bhagavad Sangi. We will not even compare the blessings of this world, such as a kingdom, with that. That is because by associating with devotees, the sprout of bhakti, which is most rare, appears. Let us not compare even the full results of karma and gyan with a particle of association of devotees doing sadhan bhakti. Even sadhan bhakta, sadhaka, sadhan bhakti devotee, that means sadhaka, he with him also we cannot compare. His association is more valuable than the full results of karma and gyan. What then to speak of extended association, and what to speak of association with a devotee having bhava, the results of sadhan, and what to speak of association with a devotee having prema. So sadhaka's association also cannot be compared with full results of karma and jnana. Then he's giving higher level. What to speak of associating with the devotee? Extended association. Let's say sadhaka is only there, but we are having more association. One is having association for, let's say, few minutes, and other is extended association for 2 3 days. We are getting to hear morning, afternoon, evening, something like that for longer time. And then what to speak of devotee who is in bhava bhakta, very advanced devotee. He has reached ecstatic love for Krishna, and premi bhakta, who is in love for Krishna. So means quantity and quality both are discussed by him. So he says imperative form is used to indicate impossibility. One does not compare a mustard seed to Mount Meru. See, where is mustard seed and where is Mount Meru? Even big mountains here, like we have this hill here behind the temple. That is quite big in comparison to mustard seed. Mustard seed, what? If you throw one mustard seed in that hill and then you try to locate it, it will be difficult because the mountain is too big and this is too small. What to speak of Mount Meru? How much, what do you call, height? How much height? 1 lakh yojanas, Mount Sumeru. 84 lakhs, 84,000 yojanas above the ground and 16,000 below. So huge, 1 lakh yojan. One yojan is 8 miles. 8 miles, not kilometers. So in fact, 1 lakh kilometer itself is too long a distance. We don't have that, isn't it? America is some 10,000 kilometers, isn't it? Around. So if you go around the whole earth also, it will be how much? 6,000. Okay. Diameter is 6,000. Okay, whatever, it will be some 20,000, 30,000. That's it. So this is such a huge mountain. So devotees association cannot be compared with anything. Hmm.
We can say that is Brahmananda is insignificant with the devotee association we are getting every day. बट वो आनंद नहीं मिल रहा है फ्यूचर में जब प्रेमानंद आएगा तो इनमें से क्योंकि इनका इफेक्ट तो ब्रह्मानंद ही है ना ज्ञान का इफेक्ट ब्रह्मानंद से ब्रह्मानंद इज कहते ना टू हाई प्लेजर वो अभी नहीं मिल रहा बट जब प्रेमानंद मिलेगा इसका पार्टिकल यहाँ पे शो कर रहा है so that Brahman is significant when we get devotee association.
I did not understand. What is, just ask in simple term. What is the question? Now we are not getting Anand like that.
जो ज्ञान का जो कल्मिनेशन है ब्रह्मानंद है
हाँ.
अब वो इसको यहाँ इनसिग्निफिकेंट बताया गया है फिलहाल हमको नहीं मिल रहा है.
What? Brahmanand?
Yes.
No question. That is not our goal and that will never be obtained by us.
At least वो बहुत हाई लेवल पे है वो अभी नहीं.
Either we'll get into Jadanand because Maya will allure us, so that's why we'll get it. Otherwise, Premanand only or means Bhaktianand only.
तो वही डिवोटी क्योंकि अभी डिवोटी एसोसिएशन है बट वो आनंद नहीं है जो इफेक्ट है ज्ञान का हाईएस्ट तो कह सकते हैं बिकॉज वो बाद में 55 होगा तो इसलिए डिवोटी एसोसिएशन इज द टॉप मोस्ट.
I don't know whether to agree to that. The Brahmanand is never the goal of life of a devotee. In fact, Bhukti and Mukti are two witches which we have to get rid of. Otherwise, you cannot reach prem. So that is not our goal. Why to compare them? We are experiencing enough happiness. How many of you are experiencing pleasure in devotional service? Say Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
So you associate with your friends. Maybe because too much stay in Hinjewadi. So like that. So please increase your stay in NVCC. Then the NV will go down, CC will go up. Chaitanya Charitamrita. The infatuation and bondage which accrue to a man from attachment to any other object is not as complete as that resulting from attachment to a woman or to the fellowship of men who are fond of women. So Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya is mentioned in this verse. Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. So what are the other attachments? One could be associating with woman because of attachment, or one could be associating with a man who is attached to women. So that is too much of attachment. This is talking about material attachment. So that same attachment has to be developed towards a sadhu. He says, prasangam ajaram pasham atmano kavayo viduhu sayeva sadhushu kruto mokshadvaram apavratam. Third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 25th chapter, the devotional service, 20th verse, I think. So he's saying that prasangam ajaram pasham. Prasangam is attachment. Ajaram, it's very powerful. Attachment in this world is very powerful. And it becomes a pasham when it is material attachment. But he says, Atmano kavayo vidu. Those who are very intelligent, they have told this. Same attachment. Sa eva sadhushu kruto. If doubted to a sadhu. Attachment is must. We cannot have vacuum in our heart. Hollow, emptiness. No. Attachment is must. So instead of having attachment to worldly things, then one can dovetail it to a sadhu. Sa eva sadhushu kruto moksha dwaram apavritam. It will open the doors of liberation. So that is the recommendation. This verse says that more than association with women, association with those who associate with women, tatsangi sangatah, is condemned. Thus, the intention of the verse is to show that association of the devotees of the Lord is more praiseworthy than association with the Lord. Just like directly associating with woman, yes, some problem. But associating with the man who is attached to women is worse or more of a problem. Similarly, more than associating with the Lord is association with the divine. This is in the positive sense. That is in the negative sense. This is in the positive sense. More than associating with the Lord, if we associate with the devotees of the Lord, we will get more devotional fervor, devotional inspiration. You can see very strikingly, all those who associated with the Lord, they asked for association of the devotees. Like Prahlad Maharaj in front of Nrsimhadev, what is saying? Soham katham no visruje tava bhrutya sevam. O Lord Nrsimhadev, how can I forget the service done to me by my spiritual master Narad Muni? I want his association. Hmm. Similarly, Dhruva Maharaj also, he also says, I want association of devotees. Who else? Prutu Maharaj also, I think. I don't know whether he directly said to the Lord or to four Kumaras. But somewhere he also says, I want association of devotees. Everybody, every devotee has prayed for association of devotees only. Even in front of the Lord, he is saying, I want devotees association. And that is advanced devotee. That means Madhyam Adhikari. Kanishta Adhikari means for him the Lord is more important. And Lord is for him only in the deity form. So he wants to worship deity and he is very fond of deities. There is nothing wrong in being fond of deities. But more than the deities, one should be looking forward to associate with devotees, to serve them. That is a Madhyamadhikari. Ishwareshu tadadineshu balisheshu dvishashu cha prema maitri krupa upeksha yah karoti sa madhyamaha. Madhyamadhikari means he has love for the Lord. He has friendship with the devotees. And towards innocent, he is merciful. And those who are envious, he neglects them. In a sense, he avoids them because they are deadly for devotional advancement. So we have to rise from Kanishta stage to Madhyama stage at the earliest. Otherwise, we suffer like anything. As a Kanishta Adhikari means passionate and ignorant fellow, and a lot of envy towards other devotees. Forget about Vaishnav Seva. Always the goal is to pull them down and to show how great a devotee I am, like that. और तुम्हारे भक्त जनों में हमसे बढ़कर कौन Swami हमसे बढ़कर कौन. In all the devotees and VCC campus, who is the greatest devotee? Myself only. Is any doubt? है माइका लाल जो इसको चैलेंज करें ऐसे वो सोचता है मैं नहीं सोच रहा हूँ मैं तो छोटा हूँ but some every devotee thinks in the heart of her heart think yes after all I'm the greatest devotee. The world doesn't understand that I'm the second founder acharya of ISKCON and and all that stuff like that crazy. So let us understand gratitude should be there. We discussed I think the other day five what you call components of knowledge. One of them is gratitude. So we'll be grateful to devotees. Those these devotees around, they are helping me so much. Alone it will be difficult. And because of them I am flourishing in spiritual life. But clarity should be there. Okay. 14th is talking about nature of bhakti ras, and that is unlimited and unsatiated. We did not go through this, Subodhini. So 1 to 10 is Maharaj Parikshit's birth, death, and dealings with Kali. Then 11 to 17 is eagerness of sages to hear Krishna Katha. In that 11 and 12 are fire sacrifice versus Shravanam. 13 and 14 are power of association and hearing Hari Katha. So that's what we are discussing. Power of association and hearing Hari Katha. That is next. को नाम तृप्येत रसवित् कथायां महत्तमैकान्तपरायणस्य नान्तं गुणानाम् अगुणस्य जग्मुर् योगेश्वराये भवपाद्म्य मुख्यः भवपाद्म मुख्यः. The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings, and his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar, rasa, ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about him? So now, after glorifying devotees, now Hari Katha also. In the association of devotees, what will we do? Hari Katha. Macchitta madgatah prana bodhayanta paraswaram kathayantasya mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So kathayantasya mam nityam. They discuss about me, converse about me. So that are the devotees. Any devotee comes across another devotee. So, so what is your reading going on? What did you hear recently? His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj says in early days of ISKCON, this was very, what you call, prominent. Anytime devotees would meet, immediately they would ask, so what are you reading? So he would tell from Krishna book that he heard or some other things like that. Our yesterday we heard from Prabhupada this, like that. So we have to be careful not to get too much into social life even as brahmacharis asking each other. Otherwise, it's usually after some you cross 35, 40 age, then only discussion is how's your health. In fact, this kind of question, how are you? This is to be asked to a Kshudra. Mm, because how are you means how is your body? And Shudra is very important, very, for him, body is very important. So, yeah, nicely eating, sleeping is going on. So that should not be the question asked to a Brahmin. For a Vaishya, question can be how is your financial advancement? How are you having more and more profits? For a Kshatriya, how are your endeavors to conquer more and more territory, etc. And for a Brahmana, the question is how are your endeavors on the path of self-realization? As Dashrath Maharaj asked Vishwamitra Muni, because Vishwamitra Muni is Brahmarshi, and so he's a Brahmana for sure. So, and for a Vaishnava, we can ask, how is your bhajan? So, how is your reading, hearing, chanting? How is it? How is it going on? What are you reading nowadays? How many of you ask this question to other devotees? Sometimes. That means our consciousness is not so high. Should ask. So, what are you reading, Prabhu? So, he'll tell some book, Bhagavatam. Okay, which one? Third canto. Which section? Kapila section. So, which chapter? Something he will speak. Then he should also ask, what are your reading, hearing? So, he can say. That is very important. Otherwise, life will pass by. Even as brahmacharis will feel it was not such a good life. In a sense, it was not very Krishna conscious. So in the purport, Prabhupada says in the middle somewhere, everyone wants to relish some kind of test in everything, but one who is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord can derive unlimited pleasure from such engagement. So we discussed that Jadanand, Brahmanand, and uh, Bhaktianand. Anandamaya Abhyasat. Our very nature is we seek happiness because we are Satchidananda. We'll naturally look for Ananda, bliss. But that won't be obtained by anything material. Everything material is temporary, and similarly, the Jadanand, so-called rasa in material dead objects, is also temporary. It won't give lasting happiness. Here that statement is Bhakti Thakur says, Guru is not an information center. Hmm? Guru is not an information center. So we should not just be asking him the worldly things. We should ask him how to get out of the cycle of birth and death. Then towards in the last paragraph, he says, in mundane affairs, there is the law of satiation, but in transcendence, there is no such satiation. One never feels, okay, ho gaya abhi, aaj ki gatha over, now no more. No, one will be the one who hears with great attention or rapt attention. He will want to hear more and more and more. One will never get bored by reading the same subject matter or rag also, music. Same tune, we should not get bored. Because of our passion, sometimes we will change the tune. What is this? Already 10 minutes singing the same tune. Change it now. Hmm. That's why one of the Kirtan norms said by His Holiness Jayadeva Swami Maharaj is the fellow, thou shall not sing the same tune for more than 3, 4 times. Hmm. Same Hare Krishna mantra. Every now and then he has to keep changing the tune because he's a very passionate fellow. So that is not the way to deal in life. One can go on. In fact, if you sing the same tune for something like more than an hour, then you will get absorbed. How many of you found that in the initial few Hare Krishna mantras, your mind is wandering all over? It is not coming only to holy name. Yeah, because It's very. I have seen in our senior most counselors in Brahmacharya Ashram, when we would go for camp with SundarshyamPrabhu, 1.5 day would be for us to withdraw ourselves from all our management related to Radha Kunjaveri temple and our youth preaching and everything, because we are all managers in 2003, 4, and earlier also. So even if we have gone to a very nice place, scenic beauty, it's a village, a simple setting, but the mind is, everybody's on call. As soon as the meeting is over, some middle something. So, okay, so what's going on there and what's happening? And I'm coming tomorrow. Just 2 days I'm here. He's talking about reaching back. So mind is crazy fellow. So takes time. So same tune if sung for a long time, then mind settles. Such discourses increase the receptive mood of the purified audience. Very nice. We should have a lot of Krishna Katha. We already discussed becoming tenacious hearers. How much you can go on hearing, that much advanced you are in spiritual life. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 24 hours, 24 by 7 is Parikshit Maharaj, which we will not be able to imitate. That's how we take the dust of the lotus feet of Parikshit Maharaj on our head and our entire body. Mahiyasam pada rajobhishekam. One should bathe his entire body with the dust particles from the lotus feet of great souls. So we take Parikshit Maharaj dust, but we should increase our hearing stamina capacity. For that, purity of mind is also required, as we discussed. Who can hear with rapt attention? One who is pure in his mind. Who is pure in his mind? Who is pure in his actions? Who is pure in his actions? Who is pure in his eating, sleeping, mating, and defending? We have to become pure. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, it is true that association of devotees is praiseworthy because without that, one cannot attain a test for hearing about Krishna. So only when we associate with devotees, then we get test for hearing Krishna Katha. We have attained that test, then what should we say about continuous association? With that intention, they speak this verse. If a person is knowledgeable about rasa, how can he be satisfied with the discussion of that person who is the soul and supreme shelter of the greatest devotees? This indicates the great sweetness of Krishna. Krishna is so sweet. You can keep hearing about him unlimitedly. There is no satiation. His great power is then indicated. Those who are masters of yoga, they also cannot find an end to the spiritual qualities of the Lord, who is without material qualities, agunasya. Then 15th. O Suta Goswami, you are a learned and pure devotee of the Lord because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages. So they are telling also very specifically, exclusively, we want to hear the pastimes of the Lord. Purport. The speaker on the transcendental activities of the Lord should have only one object of worship and service, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the audience for such topics should be anxious to hear about him. See, both should be focused on Krishna only. The speaker has no goal in life, no object of worship and service except Krishna. And here, audience are also very eager to hear about Krishna. And such a combination is possible, namely a qualified speaker and a qualified audience. It is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. Professional speakers and a materially absorbed audience cannot derive real benefit from such discourses. Professional speakers make a show of Bhagavad Sapta for the sake of family maintenance, and a materially disposed audience hears such discourses of Bhagavad Sapta for some material benefit, namely religiosity, wealth, gratification of senses, or liberation. Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. Such Bhagavatam discourses are not purified from the contamination of the material qualities. So, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun, one of the three will always be there with the speaker as well as the audience. But the discourses between the saints of Naimisharanya and Sri Sutta Goswami are on the transcendental level. There is no motive for material gain. In such discourses, unlimited transcendental pleasure is relished both by the audience and by the speaker, and therefore they can continue the topics for many thousands of years. Hmm. And in the commentary, Vishnu Shakti Thakur says, among us, you are the person who prominently serves the Lord. Speak to us who desire to hear. So you are serving the Lord all the time. So Suta Goswami is the best person. And they are saying that we are desirous of hearing. Next, 16th is devotee versus impersonalist. Here is his 15th is qualities of speaker, hearer, and subject matter. 16 and 17 are no satiation in Shravanam. Continue describing about Parikshit. 16th. O Suta Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaj Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of Garuda, the king of birds. Those topics were vibrated by the son of Vyasa, Srila Shukdev. So earlier they heard his interaction with cow and bull, Dharma and Mother Earth, and then he's chastising Kali, Kali surrendering, etc. Now they want to know how he took shelter, how he was fixed on liberation and attained the lotus feet of the Lord. That means towards the end, what happened exactly. In the purport, Prabhupada says the devotee of the Lord worships the transcendental form of the Lord, whereas the impersonalist meditates upon the glaring effulgence of the bodily rays of the Lord, known as Brahma Jyoti. So these devotees want to hear about the Lord directly. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Then next, last paragraph, he says, so there are many instances in the transcendental histories of the world of an impersonalist who has later become a devotee, but a devotee has never become an impersonalist. Who are the examples impersonalists becoming devotees? The four Kumaras and Jagdev Goswami. But any devotee who became impersonalist? In fact, I heard that some of the ISKCON devotees, maybe brahmacharis, they left ISKCON and they went to some Baba in Vrindavan, who talks about whatever Radha Bhav, this, that. He's becoming very famous on YouTube. So, no name to be mentioned. That is the norm we follow. Everybody knows it's not a secret at all. So, but just 2 3 months back or something, he spoke that ultimately all these practices should lead us to becoming Krishna only, or to become one with Krishna. So that video was there on YouTube, but somebody removed it, it seems, because all the Brajavasis were against him then. What nonsense! Because Brajavasis are true devotees of the Lord. They could not tolerate this. So that YouTube video is removed. But now ISKCON devotees are wondering now. We left ISKCON to develop Radha Bhav, maybe going to Radha Kund in Vrindavan, and we left everything and we came here under this fellow's guidance. And now he is a Mayavadi, which they did not know earlier. And he also did not reveal so clearly earlier. So hopefully they will come back. If they come back, please receive them with a red carpet welcome, blue carpet welcome, green carpet welcome, yellow carpet welcome. Not the black carpet, maybe. So they will understand they did biggest mistake. Acha, okay, Ramchandra. Ramchandra is different. I'm talking about how they know. Acha, Ramchandra Puri. Oh, he did not hear from his guru only. So that was a problem. And that's why he fell down also. Persons struck on the impersonal step undergo more suffering than achievement of reality. क्लेशो अधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्ता आसक्त चेतसाम् अव्यक्ता hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhiravaप्यते. Krishna in 12th chapter, when Arjun clearly asks in 12.1, who is superior? Those who worship you in your impersonal aspect, or those who are your devotees who worship you in your personal aspect? And Krishna very clearly says the devotees are far superior. And those who adopt impersonal path, for them it is very difficult. Even if they come to devotional path, then also the impersonal tinges, traces, they torture them. Klesho adhikatarastesham. Because they are still attached to impersonal conception. Avyakta asakta chetasam. Avyakta hi gatir dukkham devavadviravapyate. So that is not good. That is third point. Fourth point is actual freedom from material bondage is called liberation. But attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord is called the perfect stage of liberation. So Gyanis, yogis, they desire mukti, but devotee desires bhakti. And mukti is one of the maidservants of Bhakti Devi. Mukti Devi is also a lady, a Devi, a goddess, but she is one of the maidservants of Bhakti Devi. That's why Srila Bilvamangal Thakur says, Mukti Mukildanjali Sevyati Asmat. As now we are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, Mukti Devi is standing at the door with folded palms. But my dear Bilvamangal Thakur, could I render some service to you, please? Please give me some service. And he says, no, oh, madam, please wait. I'm very busy. So many devotional items are there. I'll come back to you later. And he doesn't get time only because Mukti has no role in devotee life. These are the two pishachis, two witches. One has to get rid of Bhakti and Mukti. Only one who is free from these two witches, he can practice pure devotional service. Yes. Did you have any question?
Joins the impersonalistic school to defeat them, but then he becomes one of the leaders in that. Is there some personal? I remember hearing.
I don't know. Somebody else knows. He was impersonalist only. He was not a devotee. He appeared to be devotee. That way, all Mayavadis, impersonalists, they will appear to be devotees. They'll be chanting the holy name. They will be chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But with the intention of becoming one with the Lord, which devotee never thinks. Our definition or explanation of the meaning of Mahamantra given by our acharyas is, O Lord, Radharani Krishna, please engage me in your loving devotional service. That means you are master, I am servant. And this will be eternally so. I will never become one with you.
The Ramdas, I heard that he served Raghunath Bhatta Goswami.
Yeah.
And he
So
served
what?
and he pleased also him. Pleased also.
But
So
after Raghunath Bhatta Goswami came to know that this fellow is chanting Ram's name to become Ram, was Raghunath Bhatta Goswami pleased?
Acha, okay. So his heart not got transformed by just by means that mercy will not flow unless we desire that, unless we ourselves change our conception. That's the
See, devotee association will award you Krishna Katha, the glories of Krishna, but you should receive them. That will come, point will come ahead. So like rains are mercifully falling all over the place. But when it falls on the hard stone, it fellow does not change. So soil also has to be fertile for receiving the rains properly. Yes. No, that is for the sake of getting beaten up by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Na? He proclaims boldly, Chaitanya Radasamoi, Chaitanya Radas, Chaitanya Radas, Tadera Daseranudas. I am servant of Lord Chaitanya, I am servant of Lord Chaitanya, I am servant of Lord Chaitanya, I am servant of the servants of Lord Chaitanya. So, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always, while meeting Advaita Acharya, because he is elderly, he would touch the lotus feet. So he felt, what is this? He doesn't accept me as his servant, he accepts me as his master. So what is the way by which he will accept me as his servant? That for that he should beat me up. And how will he beat me up? Only if I preach Mayavad. He preached Mayavad very powerfully. Yoga Vasishta.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you like in 12th verse it is clearly mentioned to become, to attain the form,
To attain?
the Brahman. It is a very difficult process, full of kaleshas. But here we see an example like this. Give example of person whose video got revealed 2-3 months ago. He is taking the shelter of bhakti, even Radha Rani, say Radha, Radha, Radha. But inside he want to become
Krishna.
One with Krishna. So for them, this path is very simple. Chant Radha, Radha, chant Hare, whatever it is. And what is their objective? So it's will they उनके लिए they will get merged into Brahman. It is aparad.
Why should we worry? Do you want to merge in Brahman?
No.
Then why? These fellows, and we don't know him fully. Some part is revealed recently.
Yeah.
Some other part also will be there. That still we don't know. Sometimes sometimes they have illicit sexual affair also. Such people will end up in behind the bars also in prison. So we don't know. So we don't have to find out who is reaching which destination. We should ask ourselves, what is my destination? Am I heading towards that? So don't worry.
This seems काफी simplified कर दिया कि भक्ति का shelter लेके you merge into Brahman because they are taking shelter of bhakti, but inner essence is to merge with Krishna.
So what
क्लेश
is
क्लेश चला गया ना सारा. कम से कम ब्रह्मवादी मायावादी इस क्लेश करके वो इतना वो मेहनत से मर्ज होते हैं. देयर इज नो क्लेश ओनली.
if some Mayavadi or impersonalist comes to devotional path, then there is clash.
नहीं नहीं, जैसे भगवद गीता में भगवान कृष्ण कहते हैं ना कि दोनों पाथ में से बेटर पार्ट डिवोशनल सर्विस का है, क्योंकि क्लेश नहीं है. आप मर्ज भी हो जाओगे तो बहुत क्लेश है, बड़ी मेहनत है इसमें. तो दिस पाथ इज बेटर.
Avyakta asakta chetasam, because of his attachment to impersonal path, even if he comes to devotional service, he faces klesha because of the attachment to impersonalism.
अच्छा.
Don't worry too much about it. We'll go ahead. Otherwise, if syllabus remains, you will be having clash. So let us complete also. This is 16th. We will discuss 16th. 15th we saw. For the 16th commentary, he says, for us devotees, Gyan actually means testing the activities of the Lord. Its result, liberation, means attaining the feet of the Lord. See, Gyan means testing the activities of the Lord for devotees. So that's what we hear to philosophical classes, means the classes. And it results in liberation. So liberation, not merging in Brahma Jyoti, but attaining the feet of the Lord. Parikshit is the example. Please talk about the Lord's activities by which Parikshit attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who has a flag with Garuda. But in the 12th canto, it is said that Parikshit attained liberation. That kind of words are there. That is true. He attained Apavarga. Apavarga means the lotus feet of the Lord for the devotees. This is explained in 5th canto, Yatha Varna, all that. Liberation by methods according to Varna is Bhakti to the Lord. Just as Apavarga is defined as the lotus feet of the Lord, Jnana is defined as pastimes of the Lord, as described by Shukdev. Thus, it is not untrue that Parikshit attained Apavarga by Jnana. This answers the question previously asked, how did his death take place and what did he achieve after his death? So he heard Srimad Bhagavatam and after death he achieved liberation, but liberation means he attained the lotus feet of the Lord. He went to Vaikuntha world. That is 16th. 17th. Thus, please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Maharaj Parikshit, and they are very dear to the pure devotees, being full of bhakti yoga. So they know Parikshit heard Bhagavatam from Shukdev Goswami. So please tell that side that was remaining. In the commentary, Vishwanath Thakur says, he expressed his good fortune to attain qualification by mercy of the sages to hear the Bhagavatam. Though we are born of mixed castes and therefore condemned, today our births have certainly become successful by following the knowledge of the ancients or by following Shukdev. This collection of conversations, Abhidhana Yoga, of the great devotees, even though in common language, destroys mental affliction, adhim, affliction caused by birth in a low family. So when one is born in low family, the mental affliction, adhi, physical diseases are called vyadhi, and mental troubles are called adhi. So vyadhi and adhi, two big problems. Vyadhi is not as big a problem as much as adhi. So because of born in a low family, this adi is too high. Mental anxiety. Oh, I'm born in such a low class family, and so many people are blaming this, that. But that is destroyed because though these sages are saying out of humility or whatever, that they are born in low families, they are born in low caste, but because of hearing about the great devotees, will be elevated. Our adi will be destroyed. Then 18th. So 16, 17 about no satiation in Shravanam, continue describing about Parikshit. 18, 19 is about power of holy name and Vaishnav Seva. And also it is about 18, 19 are how low birth is not an obstacle. Shisuta Goswami said, 18th one, O God, although we are born in a mixed caste, we are still promoted in birthright simply by serving and following the great who are advanced in knowledge. Even by conversing with such great souls, one can without delay cleanse oneself of all disqualifications resulting from lower births. And somebody may be a servant, but if he's a servant in the house of a prime minister or king, so then everybody respects him. Nobody says, "Hey, you low born, how dare of you to be here?" No, because he is directly engaged in serving some such great person. The second paragraph, middle somewhere, Prabhupada says he had the double association of great souls by hearing and preaching. Who he? Suta Goswami. He earlier heard from Sukdev Goswami. So he had the double association of great souls by hearing and preaching. Transcendental science or the science of Krishna has to be learned from the authorities. And when one preaches the science, he becomes still more qualified. So Suta Goswami had both the advantages, and thus, undoubtedly, he was completely freed from all disqualifications of low birth and mental agonies. 2 3 lines later, this means that thousands of years ago, there was no bar to learning or preaching the transcendental science because of inferior birth. You can see his father also. His Suta Goswami's real name is Ugrashrava Suta, Ugrashrava Suta, and his father is Romharshana Suta. So his father is also low born. Pratilom marriage was performed maybe by his mother and father. So that's why he's low born, but he became disciple of Vyasdev. So the sages of Naimisharanya chose Romharshan Sut as the speaker for Puranas. And he was speaking. But problem was he had a pride in his heart. And when Balramji in his pilgrimage, when he came to Naimisharanya, everybody at once stood up out of respect for Balramji, except this Romaharshan Sut. He was speaking from Vyasasan. He was the speaker. He thought speaker need not get up. Yes, speaker need not get up for every person coming in and out, going out. But when the Supreme Lord comes or spiritual master comes, even the speaker has to stand up. He should pay obeisances and he should request that person to continue discourse. But Romaharshan Sud, because of his pride, did not do that. Then Balramji, detecting that, just killed him right on the. He's saying, Balramji did not have gun. Balramji touched him with a blade of grass, telling them you should be humble like a blade of grass and if possible, humbler than a blade of grass. So just by touching the blade of grass, Romaharshan Sud died on the spot, on Vyasasan only. So now all the sages were shocked. We had blessed him to live long and continue Katha. The Katha is interrupted and the speaker is dead. So then Balramji said, okay, if you want, I will revive him because he's Supreme Lord. So no, no, no. Then your activity will be considered faulty. Let that not be. So then what to do? Okay, a father lives through son. So he has a son. So let us empower him. Balramji said, okay. So he will be the speaker now. And he was blessed by Balramji, Suta Goswami. And he was addressing sages of Naimisharanya. And in between, he heard there was some kind of recess during those yagya performances and all that. There was some recess, some kind of period. And exactly that time, Shukdev Goswami was going to address Parikshit Maharaj. So Suta Goswami traveled there to the bank of the Ganges, somewhere near Delhi. And then he heard for 7 continuous days and nights, as did Parikshit. And then he came back. And when he came back, then this whole discussion goes on. So they said, you have heard from your gurus and you are blessed. Bruvusnigdasya shishyasya guruvo guhyam apyuta. You must have discussed in the 6th verse of first chapter. And then they want to hear this discussion now, directly Srimad Bhagavatam. So there was no bar. You can see both father Romaharshan Sut and son Suta Goswami or Ugrashrava Suta. They, though born in low family, they were speaking Krishna Katha. So for hearing Krishna Katha and for speaking, there was no bar of that one has to be born in great family. In the second paragraph, he said, last paragraph, the mental diseases of the present generation are more acute than bodily diseases. Adhi is more of a problem than Vyadhi. It is quite fit and proper to take up the preaching of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world without delay because Srimad Bhagavatam removes Adhi. And we have Adhi more in the world today than even Vyadhi. Mahattamanam Abhidhana also means dictionary of great devotees or a book full of the words of great devotees. Such a dictionary of the words of great devotees. and those of the Lord are in the Vedas and allied literatures, specifically the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is 18th. So in Vishnu Chakra Thakur says, he, huh? Acha, we read beforehand, you know? Okay, okay, take it. So 19th, potency of the holy name. That is 19th. And what to speak of those who are under the direction of the great devotees, chanting the holy name of the unlimited, who has unlimited potency. The personality of Godhead, unlimited in potency and transcendental by attributes, is called the Ananta, unlimited. Bhagwan Ananta. In the purport purposes, they argue that birth in a family of Shudras or less than Shudras is made possible by one's previous sinful acts, and that one therefore has to complete the terms of disadvantages due to lower birth. This is the objection by Brahmanas mainly. They say, no, they are born in low class family, that means earlier they have acted sinfully. So they must undergo the term of sufferings. An answer to these false logicians, Srimad Bhagavatam asserts that one who chants the holy name of the Lord under the direction of a pure devotee can at once get free from the disadvantages due to a lower caste birth. A pure devotee of the Lord does not commit any offense while chanting the holy name of the Lord. There are 10 different offenses in chanting. To chant the holy name under the direction of a pure devotee is offenseless chanting. So one should chant for the pleasure of the spiritual master, then it will be offenseless chanting. We chant for our own pleasure. That's why we get put off after some time. We are not getting pleasure. Chanting is not so good. Because we are chanting for our own pleasure. We should chant for the pleasure of spiritual master. We have already taken a vow during initiation that I will chant daily 16 rounds. So it is a bond or it is a promise to the spiritual master, vow only. So one should chant for his pleasure. Then it will be offenseless chanting. Offenseless chanting of the holy name of the Lord is transcendental, and therefore such chanting can at once purify one from the effects of all kinds of previous sins. This offenseless chanting indicates that one has fully understood the transcendental nature of the holy name and has thus surrendered unto the Lord. What is offensive chanting? Two things, His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj says. One is to think Krishna and His holy name are different. Abhinnatvam, Nama Namino. Rupa Goswami has made it clear. There is no difference between Nam, the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and Nami, whose holy name is being chanted, and that Nami is Krishna. Hare means Radharani. So when we say Hare, Radharani doesn't come in our mind. We don't mean that. When we chant Krishna or Ram, we don't mean Krishna. So that way we make differentiation between the Nam and Nami. So this is the problem. This is our offense. If I say Narendra Modi, so what comes in mind? Mountain comes, a tree comes, aquatic comes, bird comes, reptile comes, or human being comes. Male or female, old or young, with beard, without beard, white beard, black beard. So clear. So why are we not getting Vrindavan Chandra when we say Ram or Krishna? He enjoyed it. When we say Hare, why is Radharani not coming in the mind? Because of our offenses. So that is one thing. And second thing is, we are not convinced of the glories of the holy name, the transcendental glories of the holy name. We think it's a mundane sound vibration. Just like I speak so many things in the life, in the day, like that something Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. We have material understanding of these words. It springs from the transcendental platform, spiritual platform, as Prabhupada says, surpassing all sensuous, mental, intellectual platforms. These are not some alphabets. This is transcendental sound vibration, not different from the divine couple. But we have to get realization of them. In commentary, Chakravarti says, what more can be said for the person who chants the name which destroys the bad birth of the chanter? But how can bad birth be destroyed without destroying the prarabdha karma which causes the bad birth? It is well known that prarabdha karma is destroyed only by experiencing it. How could chanting the name destroy it? This verse answers. Because the Lord has unlimited energies, one of those energies certainly will destroy prarabdha karma. Because he gives his qualities to his devotees, mahad gunatvat, those devotees call him unlimited. Because of the Lord's qualities in the devotees, prarabdha karmas cannot remain in the devotee. Our Rupa Goswami Pad says, Aprarabdam phalam papam kotan bijam phalonmukam kramainaiva praliyata Vishnu Bhakti Ratatmavan. One who is engaged in the service of Lord Vishnu, Vishnu Bhakti Ratatmavan, kramainaiva praliyat. Step by step, these things are destroyed. What? Aprarabdam, that suffering which has not yet come to us, which will come to us in future. As long as it is not come, it is aprarabdha. When it comes, it is prarabdha. Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukam. All this, the in the sinful in the seed form, they are already almost fructifying and fructified. All this is all destroyed. But even prarabdha karma is destroyed. It says, as I said, the body will not be destroyed because that is required for completion of devotional practice and reaching the perfection. But otherwise, other prarabdha karma, Krishna can destroy it. As devotee hear about him, all will be done. You don't have to worry. 28th.
The destruction of karmas, it is said that it destroyed in a opposite means. First is kutam is destroyed in bijam, then
Whatever is destroyed, done.
no, prarabdha generally is not destroyed. It's means it is said that
That is the grossest, no?
this is so. Is it
But
by
towards
heart?
the end, that will be destroyed. And for that, you have to practice the way it is expected.
It's just I want to reconfirm that I heard is okay, is right or
As I said, the body, which is the part of prarabdha karma, will not be destroyed because that is required for completion of devotional practice.
even diseases or something that
also can be destroyed. In Skanda Puran, there are 2-3 shlokas. His Holiness Gaur Goswami Maharaj quotes that if one chants purely, the physical diseases also will be gone. That is the power of pure chanting. Even our Sharanamrita also we say, na? What is that? They have some mantra, na? Punarjanma na vidyate. But something more is there. Akala mrityu haranam sarva vyadhi vinashanam Vishnu padodakam pitva punarjanma na vidyate. Okay, whatever way. So see, we are saying that you all know at least that sarva vyadhi vinashanam, but faith is not there. Hey, what? Hey, sugar is not there in Charanamrita. Who made this? Call that rascal. What about that sarva vyadhi vinashanam? And what? First line? Akala mrityu haranam. He is worried about the sugar. Charanamrita is there, but he is concerned about the sugar. And Akala Mrityu Haranam, Sarva Vyadhi Vinasha, that is all. He is going to become Adi for the other devotee. Saying, where is that rascal? And when he comes, then he will become Vyadhi also. He will attack him. Some wound will be caused to that devotee. So we should leave. That's why otherwise that शिकारी आएगा जाल बिछाएगा दाना डालेगा भूल से उसमें फंसना नहीं. So we are saying अकाल मृत्यु हरणम सर्व व्याधि विनाशनम, and we are saying, and who made this? The faith has to be there. Other just activities are going on. नामाक्षर बहु है, नाम नहीं है. We are only counting the holy names. कितना हुआ? वो 108 वो मणि गिर तो नहीं गया ना गुरु मणि गलती से. मैं गिर गया तो मैं ही गिर जाऊंगा क्योंकि 10 घंटे के बाद भी एक माला नहीं होगा क्योंकि गुरु मणि ही नहीं है.
Once one devotee is found to be saying like that, but that devotee said, I am not saying for myself, I am saying for others. Other may not like it.
Paropkar will help him to get some agyat sukruti, but some gyat sukruti also should be earned in life.
So this question about prarabdha karma, na? So I have been prarabdha karma thing. So I have been trying to research in the Shastras about 10 point. 10th canto ना ततेन कंपाम सुसमीक्षमाणु का वर्ष है, उसमें भी जीव गोस्वामी सनातन गोस्वामी लिखते हैं कि डिवोटी से कर्मा होते हैं. बट श्रील वैष्णवाचार्य ठाकुर गोस टोटली अगेंस्ट कि डिवोटी का प्रारब्ध कर्म नहीं होता है. बट व्हेन आई सी टेक्निकली ऑब्जेक्टिव के लिए जैसे परीक्षित महाराज इज अ प्योर डिवोटी, फर्स्ट क्लास डिवोटी। भागवतम ही कह रहा है, और भागवतम में उनकी बता रहा है कि ये स्नेक बर्ड से मरेगा, ये राजा ऐसा होगा, ऐसा 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 होगा, एस्ट्रोलॉजी देख के बता रहे हैं वो। सिमिलरली प्रभुपाद इज अ प्योर डिवोटी एंड इट इज बीइंग प्रेडिक्टेड कि एट द एज ऑफ 70 ही विल डू दिस 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 दिस। तो वो मुझे तक अभी तक मैं तो
Whatever it is,
रिकंसाइल नहीं
see,
कर पाया
ultimately with body, any with the prarabdha karma will be destroyed or not.
विद बॉडी।
Huh. When
हाँ
the
जी,
body is destroyed, will not the prarabdha karma get destroyed?
फॉर दिस लाइफ टाइम जो कोटि का
हाँ
प्रारब्ध कर्म
हाँ
का वो तो खत्म हो जाएगा।
हाँ.
लेकिन अभी की बात हो रही है, अभी जैसे
So
50 साल
how
बचे हैं
does it
जिंदगी के।
matter? Even if sufferings are there for pure devotee, there is no suffering. The only suffering is forgetfulness of Krishna for a pure devotee. For us, we have so many sufferings, but we are talking about pure devotee. For him, the only suffering he knows is separation from Krishna or forgetfulness of Krishna, which will never happen to him because he's always remembering Krishna. So
ठीक
let us not worry too much about prarabdha karma. We fellows who are having the witch of mukti in our mind, in our heart, we are the ones who want to get rid of sufferings in life. So that is mukti vancha.
नहीं, I don't have
You don't have mukti vancha. You are a great soul. At the end of the class, I'll take your dust from your lotus feet because I have a lot of mukti vancha. ठीक है,
but
that is pending.
indirectly हो सकता
I'll
है।
first most pending is our syllabus, then that your dust. 20th. It is now ascertained that he, the personality of Godhead, is unlimited and there is none equal to him. Consequently, no one can speak of him adequately. Great demigods cannot obtain the favor of the goddess of fortune even by prayers, but this very goddess renders service unto the Lord, although he is unwilling to have such service. In the third canto, 15th chapter, description of the Vaikuntha world, spiritual world, there it comes how Lakshmi ji is millions in number in Vaikuntha. They want to attract the attention of the Lord. Lord is not interested only in them because he is Atmaram. So only way to draw his attention is to render some service. So though there is not even one dust particle in Vaikuntha, they take the broom, golden broom, and with their delicate hands, they start sweeping the floors and walls of Vaikuntha where there is no dust particles. But Lord gets attracted. Oh, who are they? Lakshmis, such nice devotees. They are rendering service. So Lord also gets attracted to service. The personality of Godhead in the middle, this is said, in his Garbhodakshay Vishnu feature begets Brahma, the first created person in the material world, from his navel lotus stem and not in the from his navel lotus stem and not in the womb of the goddess of fortune, who is eternally engaged in his service. So Brahma's birth is divine. Swayambhu is born directly from the Lord without the assistance of Mother Lakshmi. Chakratipas says, who is able to speak about those qualities? Enough of so many attempts to describe the Lord who is unequal and of course unsurpassed in his qualities. Though he is without desire, Lakshmi, Vibhutihi, serves the dust of his feet because she desires all those qualities in full, having given up Brahma and others who pray to her. So by associating with the Lord, Lakshmi is desirous of getting his qualities. And he has so many qualities in fullness. So 20 and 20, 22, 22 are 20 onwards till 22 is unparalleled position of the Lord. Attachment to him leads to detachment from body. In the 21 is, who can be worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord but the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna? Brahmaji collected the water emanating from the nails of his feet in order to award it to Lord Shiva as a worshipful welcome. This very water, the Ganges, is purifying the whole universe, including Lord Shiva. So this naturally reminds us of Vamandev, that story when Vamandev came to Bali Maharaj and extended his leg, lotus feet. Mm. Chakratipas says the water which flows from the toenail of the Lord, which acts as arghya, water, arhan, for Brahma for worship, purified the whole universe along with Shiva. The meaning of the word Bhagwan cannot apply to anyone other than Mukunda. He is the Lord of everyone. Since the most elevated persons in the universe, Lakshmi, Brahma, and Shiva, serve his feet, they point out that he is supreme. Then 22nd, perfection of renunciation. Self-controlled persons who are attached to the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, can all of a sudden give up the world of material attachment, including the gross body and subtle mind, and go away to attain the highest perfection of the renounced order of life, by which non-violence and renunciation are consequential. So, Lord, attachment to the Lord leads to renunciation, perfection of renunciation. In the purport, Prabhupada says only the self-controlled can gradually be attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Self-controlled means not indulging in sense enjoyment more than is necessary. And those who are not self-controlled are given over to sense enjoyment. Dry philosophical speculation is a subtle sense enjoyment of the mind. Sense enjoyment leads one to the path of darkness. Those who are self-controlled can make progress on the path of liberation from the conditional life of material existence. Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya. One should go from darkness or ignorance to light or knowledge. Then latter half of the purport, it says real non-violence means freedom from envy. Anybody we are envious of, in the mind we are beating him, attacking him, kicking him, and doing so many other things. Maybe shooting him, stabbing him. So real non-violence means freedom from envy. If you want to be completely free from non-violence, you have to be free from envy. Real renunciation means perfect dependence on God. Just like independence, also similar way Prabhupada says. I think that is the second last line. Real independence means complete faith in the mercy of the Lord without dependence on the conditions of matter. When America's Independence Day was there, and Prabhupada was told today is America's Independence Day, Prabhupada said, oh, Independence Day. Real independence means to declare one's dependence on Krishna or God. Because they had not declared that independence and that dependence on Krishna. So Prabhupada said they are not independent only. And that we can see through hippies who were so rampant in those days. So they were not independent. They were dependent on cigarette, LSD, marijuana, and other stuff. Oh, I mean, just now. Okay, 23rd. He gives example in that. O rishis who are as powerfully pure as the sun, I shall try to describe to you the transcendental pastimes of Vishnu as far as my knowledge is concerned. As the birds fly in the sky as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotees describe the Lord as far as their realization allows. This came in the third chapter also, I believe, first canto. Yathamati, yathadhitam, yathamati. Correct? Or yathamati, yathamdhitam, yathamati. So as far as possible. So every bird flies to some extent only in the sky. Hens fly, how much? They go a little. On the trees and all that, if they are there, they can fly 10, 15 feet max, kind of. And peacocks, yes, one tree top to another tree top, kind of. Have you seen peacocks flying high in the sky? No question. Then sparrows go in the sky. These pigeons may be much higher. Crows may be below, I don't know. And then eagles, very high, like that. And Garudji, he can do interplanetary and inter-universal travel also he can do. He's amazing. He's Lord's carrier anyway. But every bird has his capacity and accordingly they will fly. So every person will speak according to his realizations as his capacity allows. Just like water bottles also. One bottle can hold 1 liter only. So 1 liter only. You can put 10 liter in that, but 1 liter will be retained in the bottle 9 liter will be around mud, in the form of mud. The pastimes of the Lord in different features can only be estimated partly by the great learned devotees. For 22nd, we did not read, no? Rejoicing at his good fortune, Sutta Goswami begins to speak about Parikshit again. You are like sons, Aryamanaha. I will speak knowledge according to how much I have understood. Just as birds fly in the sky according to their ability and not to the topmost height of the sky. Even those who are wise can know the Lord's pastimes, Gatim, according to their intelligence, Samam. This is for 23rd only. 24th, story begins now. 24th onwards, story of Maharaj Parikshit. Any question? We'll take a break here. Or we should continue for some time. Hmm. Yeah, it is Lakshmi, na Prabhu. Lakshmi is Lakshmi. We are not Lakshmi. So we don't have to wait. The quality will come, na. Already it is said, na, Samash, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana, Sarver Gunes Tatra Samasate Sura. Those demigods qualities, Lord's qualities, Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastre. Haritva means the qualities of the Lord will come. We don't have to extraneously endeavor for it. Jaisa sang, vaisa rang. The kind of person you associate with, you get that kind of qualities. People become drug addicts because of associating with drug addicts. People become smokers because of associating with the smokers. We became brahmacharis because of associating with brahmacharis and sannyasis. So likewise. So qualities of the Lord will come automatically. We don't have to try. Maybe we'll see this story also some extent. 24th and 25th. So 24 onwards to 31, Parikshit becomes angry at Shamik Rishi for improper reception. That is the section. 20 is the storyline. Once upon a time, Maharaj Parikshit, while engaged in hunting in the forest with bow and arrows, became extremely fatigued, hungry, and thirsty while following the stags. While searching for a reservoir of water, he entered the hermitage of the well known Shamik Rishi and saw the sage sitting silently with closed eyes. Prabhupada in purport says, Maharaj Parikshit was a pure devotee of the Lord, and there was no reason for him to become extremely fatigued, hungry, and thirsty, because the devotee of the Lord never becomes perturbed by such bodily demands. But by the desire of the Lord, even such a devotee can become apparently fatigued and thirsty just to create a situation favorable for his renunciation of worldly activities. One has to give up all attachment for worldly relations before one is able to go back to Godhead. And thus, when a devotee is too much absorbed in worldly affairs, the Lord creates a situation to cause indifference. So something has to be done. Just like we may be too much attached to body, and maybe before our death, Krishna may arrange some deadly disease in our body, something cancer or something like that. So we'll become detached from the body. Krishna will make us detached because the body, I don't know what are that type of cancer. There may be some what do you call that? Boil means what they call tumor, and some cancerous back what do you call cancer growth, those bacteria or whatever, and so much of problem. You know all the terms. You're a doctor or what? so so then we'll develop detachment from this body, indifferent. Oh Lord, take away this body. I'm ready. He will make you ready. He has to make you ready. Krishna does that for his devotees. Yasyaham anugrahanami harishe tadhanam shanai. That on whom I shower my unlimited mercy, slowly I take away everything from him. Slowly. But this is for great souls. Don't worry. In case you have many attachment, he will not take away from you. He'll say, you stay with those attachment. You take some more births. Come back to ISKCON, NVCC, next birth. You can be brahmachari here because you have something more. So one should not be having some firm things to say. This is how ISKCON should run. then your next body is confirmed. Because this is how it should be run. That means it is not happening accordingly. And for that to happen, you have to be leader. And currently in this life, it seems like you are not qualified. So next birth, you will be qualified. So don't have firm opinions. You understand? No, you can have, no problem. But then next birth also you'll have. Because your subtle body is convinced about it. So get a gross body. 2 lines later, Prabhupada said, the devotee can understand by the signal of the Lord, but others take it to be unfavorable and frustrating. Like that. They say, an opportunity knocks at the door, but a fool considers it to be a disturbance. You heard that? So likewise, Lord will arrange some kind of thing in the last, towards the end of our life, and that will be taken by a devotee who is advanced as a signal from the Lord that Lord is calling me, come devotee, this disease, But others will think, hey, what is this? Why Lord did like this? Why did I get cancer? Why did I get heart attack or whatever like that? They consider it to be unfavorable or frustrating. So he entered in the Shamik Rishi's hermitage. Next, 26. The Muni's sense organs, breath, mind, and intelligence were all restrained from material activities, and he was situated in a trance apart from the three: wakefulness, dream, and unconsciousness, having achieved a transcendental position qualitatively equal with the Supreme Absolute. So there are 4 types of levels of consciousness. One is no, not that. That's what I'm thinking. Whether the word consciousness, what word should we use? But the consciousness only, no word. There are 4 states of maybe consciousness only, or 4 types of existence. You can say, chalo, simple language. One is wakefulness, jagruti, which we all are, hopefully. Then next is swapna. Okay, that is dreaming state. So we dream in the night. All of us dream every day. Some dreams are remembered sometimes, but most of the other dreams we don't remember. But we all dream. That is swapna state. And then there is shushupti, deep sleep, complete sleep. So that also we undergo. And the last is turiya or samadhi. That is for yogis or pure devotees. They are in that. So this sage was situated with trance apart from the three. He was not in wakefulness, dream, or shushupti. He was in trance, samadhi. Shamik Rishi is not some ordinary person. Chakravarti says the sage was Shamik. He had surpassed the three states of waking, sleeping, and deep sleep, and reached the 4th state, samadhi, and had realized Brahman. 27th. The sage in meditation was covered by the skin of his stag, and long compressed hair was scattered all over him. The king, whose palate was dry from thirst, asked him for water. Prabhupada says Maharaj Parikshit was thus placed in an awkward position so that gradually Srimad Bhagavatam could be revealed. So Parikshit Maharaj cannot be experiencing thirst and hunger or anything like that. But Lord arranged for him to feel thirsty. What a simple thing. Without water, how could he not control it? Once Shivaji Maharaj was challenged by 2 brothers. I don't remember the name. But miss he only challenged. He wanted them to join him. So then they were maybe going to join hands with some other outside foreign uh, attackers or whatever. So Shivaji Maharaj personally went, but then when he went with his 600 soldiers, they both had 2,000 soldiers. So this was no match. Shivaji Maharaj or soldiers might get killed. All will get killed mostly. So then Shivaji Maharaj just kept them behind and he started walking alone. And they were wondering what is. So then they came and said, what? Said, why to have fight and kill so many of the soldiers? That too, there is no proper matching. Why not you just accept the proposal that you join us and help in Swaraj? They said, no, no question. So either you fight with army or just with us, both of us. So then there was no other option. And if we get defeated, we'll join you. So Shivaji Maharaj agreed. So the first person, the elder brother, he was 36 years old, and the younger was 32 years old. And Shivaji Maharaj was 17 years old. So you may see the age difference. So that person was expert in Dandpatta. Dandpatta means sword which is flexible. You know that, na? When it moves like a whip. Whip moves, na? But it is not whip. What you call skin? It is solid iron, metal, like a sword. But only thing it is flexible. Dandpatta. So then he was expert at that, and Shivaji Maharaj was not expert in Dandpatta. He was expert in sorry, he I think first was sword. I think Shivaji Maharaj was not expert in sword, something like that. I maybe might have changed the sequence. So then Shivaji Maharaj took one and they fought and they started fighting. So it was from sunrise, whatever, say 1 o'clock in the morning. So 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, evening sunset, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whole night. And next day, 3 hours after sunrise, Shivaji Maharaj hard gave one blow and his what is that sword or danpatta, it flew away. And then immediately Shivaji Maharaj kept it on his neck. He had fallen also and he kept it. So then he said, kill me. Shivaji Maharaj said, no, I don't want to kill you. You join me. So he said, no, I am defeated. You kill me. He said, no, you please join hands with me. He said, no, the agreement was you have to fight both of us. So only I am defeated now. You have to fight with my younger brother also. So he said, okay. So that person took whatever the next, whatever, Danpatta or whatever, or sword, whatever it was. So Shivaji Maharaj took another sword and they both fought. And then 6 hours also, Shivaji Maharaj defeated him also. So same thing happened with him also. He said, kill me. He said, no. And they both joined Shivaji Maharaj. So you see, sunrise to sunrise and plus 27 hours plus 6 more hours. 33 hours non-stop Shivaji Maharaj, 17-year young boy, fought with these two powerful warriors and did not drink water. My point is connected to this story. You all may be, wow, what a story. And then suddenly conclusion, what? He did not drink water. Yeah, he did not eat anything. He did not drink water also, not even one drop. But if Shivaji Maharaj, who was certainly empowered by Mother Durga, if he could fight non-stop for 33 hours in the hot sun, open ground with two warriors, why should Parikshit Maharaj by one day's hunting excursion, which is through the forest, in one sense trees are there, but okay, theek scorching sun rays might have hit him. Why should he be so much afflicted with thirst, going to the extent he went, as we know in future? So that is only arrangement of the Lord, no other reason. Because Srimad Bhagavatam has to come for the deliverance of the whole world. So he says he was covered with the skin of the ruru, a type of antelope, some kind of antelope. Next, 28 is talking about guest reception. The king, not received by any formal welcome by means of being offered a seat, place, water, and sweet addresses, considered himself neglected, and so thinking, he became angry. So when guest comes to our house, we should at least offer a seat. First, asan, give him a place to sit. Either mat you spread on ground or you give chair in the modern day scenario. A place. We can have a room for him also. Water. He should be given first water. He has come from hot sun outside. So glass of water. And sweet addresses. One should give him food also after that. Depending on who is he sent, he can wash his lotus feet also. He can do arti for him. So many things can be done. If he's a great pure devotee, etc. That is also tradition. And at least sweet address. But King Parikshit was given nothing. And he was thirsty. He asked for water also. Forget about other things. He's asking for water. He was completely neglected. The law of reception in the courts of the Vedic principle states that even if an enemy is received at home, he should not be given a chance to understand that he has come into the house of an enemy. In Kaurav Pandav Yuddhas also, or any Yuddha for the matter, Jarasandha and Bhima also, in the evening hours after sunset, the battle or duel is over. So they would meet each other in their different camps and they would be appreciating. Jarasandha would appreciate Bhima. Oh, that blow you gave, afternoon 2 p.m. was amazing. They did not have watch, but I'm just telling. They must have been having some kind of calculation by which they tell time. That was powerful. And Bhima also said, Jarasan, you are also very nice in this. So they would appreciate also. So enemy should forget that he has come in the enemy's camp. That kind of reception should be given. Arjun went to Duryodhan's camp. They would daily meet anyway. Daily there would be appreciation of each other. Even this kind of Kauravas, Pandavas, Bhim, Jarasan, they would have appreciation in the evening. Appreciation, what you call, session. And we fellows, when will we have? Once in a year only. On the birthday only. Why not other days? Because we are having bigger rivalry than Jarasan, Bhim, and Kurus and Pandavas. At night, they used to sit down together as friends and guests, and in the day, they used to fight, risking life and death. So towards the end, he says, to receive a guest, either friend or foe, there is no expense. It is only a question of good manners. Yes, Abhijit bro. Acha. Hmm. Dine means prasad. Hmm. Yeah. Yes. Second paragraph, he says, he was not an ordinary guest, Parikshit Maharaj, nor was he an enemy of the Rishi. He was the emperor. And therefore, the cold reception by the Rishi astonished the king greatly. Little ahead, by the will of the Lord, the circumstances were so created that they became ways to the king's becoming unattached to family connection and governmental activities, and thus becoming a completely surrendered soul unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. The merciful Lord sometimes creates such awkward positions for his pure devotees in order to drag them towards himself from the mire of material existence. We see that for Narad boy, you must have studied in sixth chapter maybe or fifth. It is said that in the night after the Bhakti Vedanta is left after 4 months, they gave him final instruction. Revision was happening. Then they left. So now one night his mother went to forest to milk the cow, and one deadly poisonous snake bit her on the leg, and she died. Then this boy had no one in creation. Mm, Only relative was mother. She died, and then he kept the dead body of the mother in the hut and set it on fire because for funeral rites he did not have any money. So other possession, hut also is gone. So he is left alone. So Prabhupada there in the purport, I think short purport, but he says, this is the way to drag a sincere soul to the lotus feet of the Lord. Because this attachment, mother was very attached to this small boy because he was everything for him, for her. So Lord took her away and this boy is now free. He could join full time. Isn't it? The brahmachari whose parents are pulling him. If the parents are gone, then he is free. The pure devotees therefore accept all conditions of frustration as blessings from the Lord. Yes, everything happening is best only. That 4.14, 5.15, 9.9. You have to read that. Vaishamya nargrunne sapekshatvat yatha na darshayati. So Parikshit became angry, which was also uncommon. Parikshit cannot become angry. He was not famous for becoming angry every now and then. He was sense controlled. Hmm? He was not just a Rishi. He was not just a king. He was Rajarshi. So Rishi means Brahminical. So Brahminical qualities were there in Parikshit fully. Shama, Dama, Tapashaucham, Kshantirarjam, Evacham, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Brahma, Karma, Swabhavacham. All were manifest in him. But by Lord's arrangement, he became angry. 29th. O Brahmans, the king's anger and envy directed toward the Brahman sage were unprecedented, being that circumstances had made him hungry and thirsty. Unprecedented means abhutapurva, that word. Abhut, never happened before. Apurva, did not happen. Apurva means earlier. Abhut did not happen. The first time only in life he experienced this kind of hunger and thirst. In fact, somewhere else it comes that he was in the mother's womb, a very delicate boy, and their scorching hit of Brahmastra, hundreds and millions of suns put together, is the heat of Brahmastra. And he could survive that. So, what is this one ordinary sun in day's hunting excursion? How could he become so much afflicted? This is Lord's arrangement. The latter half purport Prabhupada said the king was right to punish his subject for coldly receiving him or neglecting him, but because the culprit was a sage and a Brahman, it was unprecedented. Parikshit had punished so many criminals, culprits in his kingdom, in his court, everyday basis. But here, the person whom is whatever at fault is a sage, he's a Brahman. So he should have been considerate, he should have given a second thought. Mm. So, how did this happen? As the Lord is never envious of anyone, so also the Lord's devotee is never envious of anyone. So Parikshit should not have become so envious of this sage. The only justification for Maharaj Parikshit's behavior is that it was ordained by the Lord. So the devotee of the Lord is never envious of anyone. Rather, he loves everyone. Prabhupada at one airport received by hundreds of followers. They all bent in the paid obeisance. Mam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutali Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani. So one personal servant said, Prabhupada, everyone loves you so much. Prabhupada said, yes, because I love everyone. Pure devotee loves everyone. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. He doesn't think only my wife is mine and children are mine. Whole world, all people, not only human beings, even other beings, they are also my relatives, Krishna's children. So he is never envious of anyone. He delivers them. Madhyamadhikari keeps distance from envious people. But Uttamadhikari goes and delivers them also, just like SundarshyamPrabhu, Adi Guru. He went to Jagai Mada who were so envious of Brahminical culture, of Brahmanas, of cows, of everyone, of Lord. But SundarshyamPrabhu went out of the way and delivered them. So that is Uttamadhikari or pure devotee. So he could not tolerate the sage's sense of pride. 30th. While leaving, the king, being so insulted, picked up a lifeless snake with his bow and angrily placed it on the shoulder of the sage. Then he returned to his palace. So this is also a little. So what is the point in keeping a lifeless snake? And whatever. Basically, everything is arranged by the Lord only. Purport. The king thus treated the sage tit for tat, although he was never accustomed to such silly actions. It was a quite silly action, and he was never accustomed to that. But Lord is inspiring for him to act in that way. Chakravarti says, Dhanush Kotya means the tip of his bow. O Brahman, I am respecting you with this very delicate garland, just as you have nicely welcomed me. Sarcastic remark. Is what thought processing goes on. You welcome me so nicely. So I am also respecting you with this delicate garland. It's very flexible garland. Dead snake. It will take the shape at whatever way you keep it. If live snake is there and you keep it around, it may not be hanging like that. It will come like this. It will go against the laws of gravity and all that. It will not be considered as delicate and all that. So he's thinking like that. With the tip of his bow, he kept it. 31st. Upon returning, he began to contemplate and argue within himself whether the sage had actually been in meditation with senses concentrated and eyes closed, or whether he had just been feigning trance just to avoid receiving a lower kshatriya. Feigning means pretense, pretending to be in trance, but actually he was not. So he is confused whether he was or was not in trance. Just to avoid lower kshatriya. Brahmanas are topmost, so below them are kshatriyas. Third line also, Prabhupada in purport says, repentance comes in the mind of a good soul as soon as he commits something wrong. Very nice statement, famous statement. Repentance comes in the mind of good soul as soon as commits. So mistakes will happen. Great souls will not even commit mistakes because all their senses are always engaged in the service of the Lord. Same case is with Parikshit also, but here Lord has used him as an instrument. So that's why his senses happen to commit some mistake, imperfect senses in one sense. So ordinary conditioned souls, when they they commit some mistake through their imperfect senses, they try to hide it, cheat it, cheat. But here Parikshit is not like that. And here so-called mistake also immediately led to his repentance. Repentance is in the mode of goodness. It is not in the mode of ignorance like lamentation. Lamentation is, oh, this happened, now what? Not like that. But repentance means some positive action to rectify the mistake is there. That is repentance. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami do not believe that the king's action was due to his past misdeeds. Do you agree? Was it because of his past misdeeds? No, no question. We also agree with Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami. The arrangement was so made by the Lord just to call the king back home, back to garden. Second paragraph, up to 5-10 lines. So, Raslila of the Lord, that is pastime of the Lord, has a special significance because anyone who properly learns about this particular pastime of the Lord will certainly be dissuaded from mundane sex desire and be placed on the path of sublime devotional service to the Lord. In the Raslila Panchadhyay, 5 chapters in 10th canto, 32nd chapter, end, our Shukdev Goswami says, Vikriditam Rajavadhu Viridam cha Vishnu Shraddhanvito Anushranayad Athavarnayedya Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam Rudrogamapu Ashahinoti Achirena Dhiraha Rudrogamashu Apahinoti Achirena Dhira. That if one hears the pastimes of Lord Krishna with the gopis, Raslila particularly, from great souls coming in parampara, or repeats them, then very quickly he gets rid of Rudrog, the heart's disease, lust. Apahinoti. Achirena dhira, very quickly becomes a sober person. So if Krishna was Uchrunkhal, or very lampat, what you call, mad after women, which is apparently the conclusion by saying him in Raslila. If that was the case, then anybody who hears Krishna's pastime, he should also become a lampat. But that is not the result, that is never the effect. Rather, he becomes achirena dhiraha, he becomes sober. So Krishna's pastimes are very pure. So he has to hear these pastimes. That's why Krishna has arranged this situation. Next, he says the pure devotee's mundane frustration is meant to elevate the devotee to a higher transcendental position. Jnanis and yogis, to some extent, they have this material frustration, and by that frustration, they take to the order of sannyas, renounce order. And that is good for them. They are frustrated with worldly pleasures. They to go for sannyas. But devotee is far superior. He is not a dhira, just a dhira. He is narottama. He is the best of all the human beings. So for him, he has to become paramhamsa by hearing the pastimes of the Lord. So this kind of frustrating situation for a devotee are meant to elevate the devotee to higher transcendental position. 2-3 lines later, being distressed by hunger and thirst was only a show because the king endured much, even in the womb of his mother. We discussed that. Chakravarti says, it was the desire of the Lord to bring Parikshit quickly to his side by having him become detached from the world by the curse of the sage. Having him taken the association of Shukdev and appearing in the form of the Bhagavatam in order to deliver the world and give a test for the pastimes such as Raslila that he performed to some devotees who could be born later in Kali Yuga. This is stated by the wise. This is understood from Parikshit's later statement in 119.4, next chapter. As he was thus thinking, he heard about how he would die from the bite of Takshak because of the curse issued by the sage's son. He considered it beneficial that soon the fire of Takshak would be the cause of detachment from material life. This also showed that the sinful actions of his pure devotee, which are committed accidentally, lead to benefit in the future. So, devotees, everything is auspicious only, so called sinful activity. Then next he says, Parikshit's condition was produced by the Lord himself in order to create an apparent reason or the Lord's appearance in the form of the Bhagavatam. Parikshit never had such conduct, even his dreams. Thus, it is said that this was something he had not experienced before. His state of anger did not arise from bad karma, since the result of this act was the great fortune of meeting Shukdev. If bad karma is there, how will one meet great soul? So here it's a great fortune. Nor should one say that the cause was his great thirst. A moment later, without drinking water, see what happened. After this, uh, a moment later, without drinking water, being pained by 100 repentances, he returned home and immediately fasted till death. For how long? 7 consecutive days and nights. So that means 7.5 days around he fasted from water. So how could he be afflicted by thirst so much? No way. Since he was filled with spiritual power in birth and death and had conquered time in his middle age by restricting Kali, he must be considered to have exceptional strength by the mercy of the Lord. So this is all divine arrangement only, all throughout, for our deliverance. So we are grateful to Parikshit Maharaj that for our sake he accepted getting beaten up mm, by that fire of Takshak. Any question?
प्रभु जी मैंने ऐसा सुना है कि, लेकिन ऐसे परपट से बिल्कुल लगता नहीं है दूर दूर तक, क्योंकि परीक्षित महाराज ने वो सोने का मुकुट पहना था और सोने में कली था. दैट्स व्हाई पुट द स्नेक. तो आपका इसके ऊपर क्या है? ही पुट द स्नेक. कली ने अटैक, मतलब क्योंकि कली ने इन्फ्लुएंस किया माइंड को. सन पे सोने का मुकुट था, गोल्ड में कली था, ऐसा मैंने सुना है. शास्त्रीय कोट नहीं है मेरे पास.
And I have not heard it. So I can't comment. Though in Sri Krishna serial in TV they show that. That as soon as he said, okay, you take wherever gold is hoarded, that's where you can see.
शायद मैंने देखा,
Immediately Kali takes in his goes in his
तो
crown.
शायद मैंने देखा है, फिर सुना नहीं है, देखा है फिर मैंने. कहीं से मुझे ध्यान
Okay,
नहीं
जो भी है. So we will not comment because we don't know.
है.
महाराज महाभारत में महाभारत सीरियल में कि महाभारत ओरिजिनल बाय व्यासदेव? व्हाट इज देयर? अच्छा, okay, because he was having golden what you call crown, so that's where Kali was residing. But as we know, Mahabharat many times is speaking different way also. The commentary also matters. So here Mahabhagavatam is pure Amal Puran. So this does not portray in that way. This is Lord's arrangement. Like that. Any other?
But verse 18.18, it was told that even by conversing with such great souls, one can without delay cleanse oneself of all disqualifications. So means conversing means we should personally meet the great soul and then discuss. Means is it the same effect by hearing also, means from them?
Yes, but by hearing you may develop some doubts, some questions. So you need to ask them in that public forum or personally meet him and ask. Either way. But basically you have to get doubts clarified. Pranipat, Pariprashna, and then Seva. Then Seva goes uninterrupted. Otherwise Seva will be hampered in a sense. You will not be able to go with full inspiration because you have some doubts. That's why doubts are compared to demons in Bhagavad Gita. Madhusudan, killer of doubts.
Bapuji, means I was hearing Suryanas Radhanath Maharaj. Maharaj was telling that one should chant for the pleasure of Krishna, means without any motivation. Means so means for the pleasure of Krishna is same as means for the pleasure of spiritual master.
Yeah, Sakshat Haritvena.
Mr. Shastri.
Yes. He is not Krishna. He is the supreme personality of servitor Godhead. He is not supreme personality of Godhead. Sevak Bhagwan. Okay, so we'll have a break for 15 minutes. Then we'll start. Hare Krishna. that please come to Hyderabad and Pune also. And especially many devotees are anxious to receive initiation from you. So Maharaj replied, pleased to hear from you. That's it. और पता नहीं बाकी. Yes, he is pleased to hear from SundarshyamPrabhu. The thing is that he'll come or not. He will come. By March 25, all initiations should be over. Between Maharaj, Yatra will come. And Maharaj will go to West and marathon. But SundarshyamPrabhu. Directly, he cannot just ask about initiation only. Na? So something, and Maharaj also expects the disciples are hearing or not. Hare Krishna. 18th chapter we discussed up to 31st. 32nd is talking about the curse. The sage had a son who was very powerful, being a Brahman's son. While he was playing with inexperienced boys, he heard of his father's distress, which was occasioned by the king. Then and there the boy spoke as follows. In the middle, Prabhupada says, because the age of Kali was seeking an opportunity to spoil the cultural heritage of the four orders of life, the inexperienced boy gave a chance for the age of Kali to enter into the field of Vedic culture. So here is Kali's entrance, not in Parikshit Maharaj, but in Shrungi, in this Shamik Rishi's son. So Bhagavatam and Acharyas make it very clear. Acharyas don't blame Parikshit and all that. Many times these serials like Mahabharata, Sri Krishna and many others, they will want to have some masala and they will have their own interpretations. The Bhagavad Kathakars, they give their own interpretation. So these what you call serial directors, how would they not give? So we should not take them as authorities. We should refer to scriptures, should refer to acharyas and see what acharyas say. Chakravarti says Parikshit speaks in 8 verses. Oh, sorry, this is not. So I was wondering how this is. 18th chapter. But stage son name is not written. Balako Arbakai. So his son's name is Shringi. And he spoke in the midst of inexperienced boys. Boys were simple. They're not grown up boys. So among them, he is showing his power. It's a ego display, false ego display. Next, 33rd. The Brahman's son, Shringi said, oh, just look at the sins of the rulers who, like crows and watchdogs at the door, perpetrate sins against their masters, contrary to the principles governing servants. Such big offensive words he's using. It's calling Parishit Maharaj to be perpetrator and comparing with crows and watchdogs. I think that this is sin. All that. Prabhupada in the purport, letter half says, Shringi, a qualified son of a great Brahman, attained the required Brahminical power both by birth and by training, but he was lacking in culture because he was an inexperienced boy. Culture is also required. Otherwise, birth may give powers, training may give power, but then culture will degrade one. In a sense, he is not having good culture. Just like Ekalavya, he did not have high birth, but he had so-called training. But the culture was not good, so he used his arrows to shut up the mouth of a dog. So that is not how Kshatriyas use their power on innocent people. We just discussed it in previous purport medal. Devotees, you can tell, ask after. Here Acharyas make it very clear, Prabhupada writes there, that the Kali influenced Shringi, not Parikshit. 34th. The descendants of the kingly orders are definitely designated as watchdogs, and they must keep themselves at the door. On what grounds can dogs enter the house and claim to dine with the master on the same plate? His hatred is revealed over here. So one devotee was saying that you might have seen in the movies and all that, you know, arrows are sent by two parties. So one arrow comes and another arrow comes. And what happens? Sparks and all that. And they dissolve if they are of equal strength. But that is not the case with one arrow of false ego and another arrow of false ego. Then the sparks are there, but then they don't dissolve. They rather expand. No question of dissolving. So here it was like he took it as an ego tussle only because Parikshit, though emperor, he is a Kshatriya below Brahmanas. We are Brahmanas, and my father, for no fault of his, this fellow acted like this. So I curse him. He's going to curse him now. Third, 34th. Chakradepa says the protector of the house enters the house and eats items such as ghee, which are in pots, sabhandam. How is it proper for the king to boldly enter the hermitage of the sages and ask for water? It is like the sages are having their house in the forest, and the king, Kshatriya, they are in their place, kingdom. They are guarding. They are like watchdogs. So they should do their duty, but they cannot enter in the house and eat. That's what Shringi is saying. Now, how can he even ask for water? They are not supposed to do that. That's what is his claim or blame. 35th. He talks about one taking the position of Krishna. After the departure of Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead and supreme ruler of everyone, these upstarts have flourished, our protector being gone. Therefore, I myself shall take up this matter and punish them. Just witness my power. So you can see his ego display. Just see my power. Pashyata me balam. So first line he says, Krishna gate bhagavati. Shastri utpatha gaminam. Krishna has gone back to Godhead. So it seems like he's a devotee. He's having separation from the Lord. Oh, Krishna is gone. Our protector is gone. Any devotee would feel like that. But the next lines reveal how he's not a devotee. Tad bhinna setun adhyaham shashmi pashyata me balam. So I say, okay, these fellows have become upstarts now because our protector is gone. Think that they are all the way. So now you see how I curse him or how my power is. So he is revealing his arrogance. You can see similar situation in the case of Jamadagni Rishi, where Kartavirya Arjun happened to come with his thousands of soldiers, and Rishi invited him very nicely. He said, "Please come and accept my hospitality." And he said, "Okay." So what is this? So no, you want to some initial fruits were given. So now we'll have feast for you. And he was wondering, feast? This sage, he had nothing here. How can he arrange a feast? But to his great surprise, a huge feast was arranged. And then he was wondering, how huge feast? Then he asked Jamadagni Rishi, how did you arrange? I have this Subala, this is cow, this is Kamdenu. She can fulfill all the desire. As much as I desire, milk, ghee, or anything, she provides that. I don't have to worry. Then immediately Kartavirya Arjun, he said, Sage, I order you to give this cow to me because I am the king of this province. So you are under us. So what do you need this cow for? I am the king. I have so many more requirements. I want this cow. You have to give me. And Jamadagni said, no, 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 please do not ask like that. This cow is not just my provider, but she is like my daughter also. I maintain her like my daughter. And we don't have just a selfish give and take kind of thing. So please don't ask of her, ask from me. So then he said, nothing doing. Are you giving or not? And then he started dragging only his soldiers and all that. And Jamadagni was wondering, what is this happening here? So ultimately, Jamadagni being a sage, he did not want to fight, etc. So then Subala said, my dear sage, my dear father, if you order me, I will only take care of them. And then she produced so many soldiers from her body and they defeated all like that. So you can see there a similar case that there Jamadagni did not show his arrogance, saying that, what kind of rulers, we are Brahmanas and these are Kshatriyas and they have become so low class, they are taking our food. Means she was the source of all the food and for everyone for that matter through sage. So he did not claim all that and he did not show any kind of arrogance. He behaved like a sage. But here this fellow is very immature. So he is behaving arrogantly. So this is true that many times the Kshatriyas and all may become what do you call unruly or what they call like a bully or mm, they may become very arrogant, which has happened, and they may claim themselves to be God, uh, who is God like that. Because one devotee was telling a bogus imitation of Jesus was visited to ISKCON temple. He was telling. So he was saying that I am Jesus. And then devotees called him to ISKCON temple. And then he was still claiming that he is Jesus. So devotee took him to side room and brought some wooden planks and some nails, hammer. And as soon as he saw that cross and all, immediately ran away because he said, you are Jesus, so be ready for getting crucified. He immediately ran away. So the devotee was telling, in record, there are 250 people who are claiming themselves to be Jesus. 250 people claiming themselves to be Jesus. Because in Christianity, Jesus is the highest. No? God, there is no clarity about who. God is there, but so Jesus is considered the highest. So there are 250 people. This is old news anyway. I don't know. There may be now 2,500 also. But that time he told. So he is also saying, Shringi is saying, "Hey, here is an upstart. Just because he is an emperor, he is saying he is like, he is taking Krishna's position. No way. No, one cannot take Krishna's position. Rather, now he is going to take Krishna's position. That's what he is saying. Therefore, I myself shall take up this matter and punish them. Because our protector Krishna is gone. So he's so you see how when we point out fault in others, that fault is very much present in us first. Whether it is present in that person or not is still a doubt. But in us it is there. He's saying, Are Krishna, our protector, is gone, and this fellow is misusing his powers of emperor and all that. So what does he think of himself? So he's taking position of Krishna, being top supreme controller. I will only punish him. I will take the matter in my hands. So that's why we should not point out faults in others. Either those faults are not in them and they are in us, or in them they are to their some degree, and in us more degree. And in case they are not in us, they will develop in us in future for sure. So for all these three reasons, one should not see faults in others. Unless you have the service of what you call fine tuning, refining devotees, then you may do that. But then also those devotees who are assigned to you, not like everybody and everything. You understand? No? When we are so-called counselors, guides, youth preachers, so we tend to become self-appointed advisors for every youth. सब youth मेरे ही है नहीं नहीं हाँ those who have surrendered to you they may be under you, they are also not necessarily under you, somehow circumstantially they are forced to be under you. Tomorrow if they are put in another temple and all, they'll प्रभु आपकी ऐसी की तैसी you are not my authority now. So it happens like that. People don't like others guiding them necessarily. In the purport purposes in the middle, he wanted to take the place of Lord Krishna after his departure. Though he blames Parikshit Maharaj for taking the position of Krishna, that too in a wrong way. Krishna was at least protector. This fellow is not even acting as protector. So now I will only become proper protector for our race, for our Brahminical community. One devotee was saying that every living entity has individually created around him his own Vaikuntha. His own Devamrut Swami Maharaj says that. He said that every living entity has individually created around him his own Vaikuntha, means place of no miseries. So all miseries he will overcome by himself. And he thinks that he is the controller of that Vaikuntha. Just like we say, no, a family man may say that this is my territory and I'm the king of this whole house. And I have the permission of my wife to say so. Then everyone understand who is the actual controller. Graha Mantri, Home Minister. Wife is controlling him. But everybody thinks that I can create what you call disturbance free living for myself. Area, house, whatever it is. 36th. The son of the Rishi, his eyes red hot with anger, touched the water of the river Kaushika while speaking to his playmates and discharged the following thunderbolt of words. So he took the water of that Kaushik river. Where is Kaushik river? Actually, I did not come across the place where this pastime happened. But where? So he is speaking to his friends. They are all Balish. If only he had real daring, he should have tried to curse the king in front of his father, who was very mature. They are all immature children. In our childhood in Marathi, we had a chapter in Marathi. Balish Bahu Bayakanta Badabadala. Balish means what do you call? Childish, childish. So this Uttar, son of Virat king, Uttara's brother. So he was among the women. And there when he heard that, oh, these Kuru elders, they came, rulers, Kuru warriors, they came and they took away thousands of our cows, my father's cows. So who are they? They are insignificant actually. Actually, if only I had some charioteer, proper charioteer, I alone am enough. I can just attack them all, धूल चरा दूंगा उसको, सबको मिट्टी में मिला देता. लेकिन क्या करूं, what to do? I just don't have a suitable charioteer. So he spoke all these words in the midst of all the girls. Uttara was also there and her girlfriends were there. And he's the only male there, so-called prince, Virat king's son. Immediately Bruhannalla, the teacher of Uttara, Arjun, so he heard that. He said, oh, if that being the case, I am there ready to be your charioteer. He said, you are a eunuch. What can you drive a chariot? Do you know anything? He said, I am a charioteer for Arjuna. So I know driving. And then all the girls heard that. They said, see, you said that you did not have charioteer. That's why you could not fight. Now here is a charioteer and he's volunteering also. And he's expert also. So now you should go. Uttara said, my dear brother, you must go. And all the girls said, you must go. And everybody gave a long list. Then they said, one said, I want Uttari of Bhishma. Somebody said, I want a strip of cloth from Drona's dhoti. And somebody said, I want Karna's this thing, what is that, bracelet or whatever like that. And this fellow was like shocked. My God, suddenly the whole turn of events. And he's caught now. But there are no other option left for him. Just could not do anything. So he got on the chariot and Arjun Bruhan is expert driver. He drew him. And then he came into open ground and all the Kuru, entire army with all Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Duryodhan. And they were all watching from a distance. Why the warrior has stopped and why is it trembling? And why there is no attack and all that, So then he said, hey, come on, Brahmanalla, you turn the chariot around. Take me back to Virat King. This is very deadly. I will be killed here mercilessly. Any one of them can easily, effortlessly kill me. And then Brahmanalla said, what nonsense are there? You said you alone can drive them all away. Now here they are. Fight. I'm there for you. No, 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 I cannot fight. Please, 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 take me away. Then Brahmanalla said, okay, if you are not ready to fight, I will fight them all. You be my charioteer. Reverse, role reversal. He said, you are you will fight. You know what fighting means. He said, I am not an eunuch. I am Arjun. What? How dare of you to even equal yourself, consider yourself a match with Arjun. He said, not match, I am Arjun myself. Oh, really? If you are Arjun, tell 10 names of Arjun. Immediately he said, because that are his names, Kaunteya, Prutha, Partha, and Phalguni, and Sabyasachi. 10 names he told. And that fellow was stunned. He said, then, but how will you fight? He understood now he's Arjun. He said, we have Pandavas, we have kept our all Shastras and Astras in this hollow of that Shami tree. So you climb over there. And all the Kauravas were watching from that. What is happening between the two? And why that fellow, the one who had come for fighting, why is he climbing a tree? But anyway, unless attacked, they cannot start. So he climbed up, and in the hollows of the tree, these all the weapons, and Arjun's Gandhi bow, quiver with arrows, and spear of Yudhishthir, and swords of Nakul Sahadev, and Bhima's Gada, everything was there. It was very heavy. This fellow was not able to lift also. He said, okay, no need to take everything down. Just open it and take out my Gandhi bow and quiver with arrows. So that much he took out and said, wrap it again and keep it inside. Then he kept it. Come down now, come down. So Arjun got, and now you be the charioteer. And Arjun just took his Gandhi bow, took the string, just put it around, and he just pulled the string only, no arrows. Tang! That tremendous sound. Everybody was there. And immediately Bhishma said, this cannot be anybody else but Arjun. Just from the twanging of the bow also they would understand. And they would have. And Arjun is like powerful warrior. And immediately then Duryodhan said, hey, they are caught. This is incognito period. So they are caught. Then Bhishma said, look at the watch and calendar. That time is over. 1 year is over. So this is not the time. And Arjun alone, without Krishna, in this battle, single-handedly he defeated all. Without Krishna. In this case, Krishna is not there. So Arjun was not some ordinary Tom, Dick, Harry. Very powerful. So here this fellow is speaking in the middle of all these immature boys or simple boys. He got defeated. He got defeated. Lord wants to show us that don't think my devotees are some ordinary. They are expert in skills also. They are powerful. Anyway, so this is 36th. 37th. How Shringi curses Parikshit Maharaj now. The Brahman son cursed the king thus. On the 7th day from today, a snake bird will bite the most wretched one of that dynasty, Maharaj Parikshit, because of his having broken the laws of etiquette by insulting my father. So insult was very insignificant. It was not a live snake. Live snake would have bitten Shamik Rishi and would have killed him or poisoned him. It's a dead snake. Okay, some mistake. So the curse or the punishment is not proper. In the middle, Prabhupada says the personality of Kali conquered the Brahman by first and gradually the other castes. The Brahmanas came within the grip of Kali. And last line, one should see to the root cause of vitiation and not try to condemn the system as it is without knowledge of its scientific value. So though Brahmanas got vitiated or whatever, that doesn't mean that the Brahmin caste only should be removed. That is not the way. Just some individual who was not proper Brahmin in one sense, he was a problem. Not that whole Brahmin race. They sometimes they say like that. That story that that boy was suffering because of the cataract in the eye. So his uncle came. Uncle said, "Oh, remove." He said, kill him, because he's suffering so much from the cataract." The father was stunned. "I killing my son?" Then another uncle came. He said, "No, no, 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 no. Killing is not the good thing. Actually, the eye is a problem. Remove the eye, make him blind." So then another third uncle came. He said, "I didn't know what foolishness." The cataract in the eye is a problem. We'll go to some surgeon, some doctor, Vaidya. We'll remove the cataract. The boy is not a problem, and nor is the eye the problem. The cataract in the eye is the problem. So similarly, some people think that this whole Brahminical community is only disgrace. Remove it all. And that's how the Varnashram from that system, Brahmanas were removed. Certainly, many of them became arrogant, proud of their knowledge, etc. But that does not mean that Brahminical culture or Brahminical lifestyle, our race should be wiped off. But now the Brahmanas are there, but because of their forefathers' arrogance, now these Brahmanas are suffering like anything. All this ST, OBC, SC, and don't know what all different types. They have so many privileges, and poor Brahmanas, nothing. So all the reserved seats are there, na? In so many places, in schools, colleges, offices, even I think where maybe trains and all them. So now these Brahmanas are suffering. That's why Prabhupada is clarifying that point also. This boy Shringi was a problem. But if you see just now, after some time, we'll see his father. How Shami Gurushi behaves like an ideal person, not like Shringi. In the commentary, Chakravarti says, because he placed a dead snake on the body of my father, Dakshak, a living snake will bite him. Another version has Dakshati. He will burn him to ashes. Inspired by me, Choditaha me, the snake will bite. Tata Druham means the same as Tata Druham, offender of my father. So Takshak will bite him. That's what is his curse after 7 days. 38. Thereafter, when the boy returned to the hermitage, he saw a snake on his father's shoulder, and out of his grief, he cried very loudly. So he cried loudly, he kind of understood his mistake, great mistake, and he wanted to be relieved of the burden of his heart by crying. When we commit mistake, we may cry also. That is good. So after entering the hermitage and seeing his father in that condition, he cried loudly so that he might be relieved. But it was too late. The father regretted the whole incident. So the grief in our heart should not be just kept inside. That's why we have a counselor system. Go to counselor and open to him, or some senior devotee, or some friend could be there equal, and we should article in one sense vent out your feelings. Otherwise, it will remain inside mentally. It will cause physical diseases also. It will become a poison in the body. Poison is some kind of disturbances. In the West, this concept is very prominent. His Holiness Bhakti Bhagavad Maharaj is telling. So they just blurt out like anything. Even in the hippie days also, they would, because the blacks and whites racial fights, the blacks would be shouting, "You rascal! Yeah, you think I am black?" And they would be so they would do that amongst themselves because the feelings have to be brought out. Otherwise, inside they will create problem. Children, you see how they have some problem. They will cry like anything, isn't it? Sometimes it appears like more crying than the need is, but it is good. So that's why they are healthy in then that sense. But we fellows, we don't make a show of our being. Means we don't want to show that I am having trouble in myself. So we should have somebody to whom we can open up. We can blurt out and we can say rascal. But that friend knows he's not saying rascal to me. He's saying to that devotee, that person whom he's angry at. And I have to just take it up, everything what he says. After everything is out, there's nothing in the heart. Then he cools down and sorry, Prabhu, I said too many things. Yeah, okay. Because he knows it is not to me. It is not that. So that kind of thing. So how many of you have friend like that? Do you blurt out like that? Hopefully not. Nobody has that friend. We should have a friend like that to whom we can tell everything. Can go to terrace, open terrace, and keep telling him everything. You have a? Or what are you saying? So that is required, otherwise it will become problem. Okay, so that is 38, 39th. O Brahmans, the Rishi who was born in the family of Angira Muni Hearing his son crying, gradually opened his eyes and saw the dead snake around his neck. Imagine you are sitting in chanting 2 hours. You are sleeping in chanting. Or whatever, sitting in and chanting or sleeping in chanting. And after 2 hours in temple hall, you get up and you see a dead snake around your neck. What would be your reaction? Dead snake, you understand it's a dead. Or how would you act? Huh? Who is that rascal? How dare of him? And then you'll wake up the devotees sleeping next to you. प्रभु किसने डाला? अरे क्या मैं खुद ही गिर गया हूँ मैं क्या डालूंगा you'll say okay you're like another dead so mostly not you and here could be another who is like halfway through coming to external consciousness from internal so then you're wondering कौन है वो सब तो मेरे तरह ही लग रहे CCTV camera. Yeah, most advanced brahmachari will go to that CCTV camera control room to find out who, who was that. He will not take a closer look to what happened and I was sleeping in Japan. He will take look to who was that who put the snake around. So just see. So just see the reaction of this Rishi. He opened his eyes and saw the dead snake around his neck. He threw the dead snake aside and asked his son why he was crying, whether anyone had done him harm. On hearing this, the son explained to him what had happened. So, see, he has no misery of himself. So, he can sort out the misery of others. Now, if he would have become miserable, all that stuff, then how can he sort out the problem of his son? So, only one who is free from problems can solve the problems of others. One in whose heart there is so much conflict, in his life also there will be conflicts. And such a fellow can never be a counselor, can never be what do you call mediator or anything of that sort. So one should be personally free from problems to be able to sort out others' problems. Just like husband and wife fight in their married life, devotee couple, and then to sort out the resolve thing, they go to a sannyasi to tell what the household conflict was, and he is going to sort out. Now, how can he sort it out? He was a brahmachari earlier, he's a sannyasi, he never married, he never had a wife. How can he sort it out? He can sort it out because he's free from all the conflicts. So his consciousness is up there. So he can see from top what these two fellows, husband and wife, why they have this trouble. And then he will give the expert guidance and they, by following, could come out. So for that, what is required is not this ashram status and all that. What is required is one who is free from conflicts. So one who is in union with Krishna, who joins hands with Krishna, who is working for Krishna, he is only the one who is free from all conflicts. All others will have conflicts. Counseling is nothing but bringing a passionate and ignorant counselee or counselees to the mode of goodness. So for that, the counselor has to be at least in the mode of goodness, if not in pure goodness. Otherwise, he himself is in passion and ignorance, and then little more passionate and ignorant counselees come to him. So with him, the problem will be doubled or tripled because they too were fighting and they came to counselor who has fight with another counselor or president or GBC. So three of them now the conflict will grow. You see, you two are fighting. Actually, the same thing I was telling the president that my another counselor of devotee friend, he is also a rogue, a thief or whatever. So he should be punished. He should be banned from temple. And okay, so he will increase the problem more. So he should be free. They say no, the problem. What they say in English, where it arises, huh? It cannot be sorted out there. What is the sentence? It has to be sorted out on higher level consciousness. So the counselor has to be on higher level, or guru has to be on higher level, or whosoever the authorities, they have to be on higher level. In the purport, Prabhupada says, the father did not take the dead snake on his neck very seriously. He simply threw it away. Actually, there was nothing seriously wrong in Maharaj Parikshit's act, but the foolish son took it very seriously, and being influenced by Kali, he cursed the king, and thus ended a chapter of happy history. Nicely, happily, everything was going on. King was proper ruler. He ended it. So sometimes by our action, we may do that. Some happy history we may end. We should not do that. 41st. It's one devotee was telling regarding this. As long as one has a desire to serve himself, the problems will be there. So for Shringi, there is problem because he wants to serve himself. I am from Brahmin community. How dare of him to misbehave with us? Nobody has misbehaved with him. It was misbehavior with Shamik Rishi, and the Shamik has nothing to say about it. He just threw it away. Might as well earlier also for Shamik Rishi, it might have been a not very common sight, but to some extent because they are in jungle, the hermitage in jungle. Some snake comes or dead snake here, there, they must have seen in the courtyard or sometimes even in the kutir also. Snake, even live snake for that matter, and they might have dealt, isn't it? Even in the villages and all that is there. When I was a small kid, 1.5 year old, my mother told me that when I was lying, my mother had kept me in one place, 1.5 year old only. What does 1.5 year old boy understand? Nothing. And so one snake came, huge snake, and came and passed by me and went away. My mother was watching, she was wondering, snake is going towards the child and then going across. Yeah. Because she cannot fight with the snake anyway, and whom can she call also? It was very simple rural setting. So in that, so if in villages and houses they would experience that, in the hermitages in the jungles, how would there not be snakes? If you go to our Gokul Dham also, my God, you'll be very close to nature. Huh? Here also there are snakes in our garden. Here on two-time cobra was there. See, so in the hermit in the jungle, this is not even jungle. Mm, So there's a common sight in one sense, not a big issue, but he made a big issue out of it. They say, no, making a mountain out of mole. So one should not do that. But basically, ego tussle. In ego tussle, all these things happen anyway. 41st. The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed, although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best amongst all human beings. The rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary began to repent, saying, Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense. So, Prabhupada in the purport says, second, third line, the king may order hanging of a culprit son of a Brahman, but he does not become sinful for killing a Brahman. Because if he has done some mistake like that, he may do that. Even if there is something wrong with the king, he is never to be condemned. A medical practitioner may kill a patient by mistaken treatment, but such a killer is never condemned to death. So, what to speak of a good and pious king like Maharaj Parikshit? Sometimes it happens, no? Practitioner, medical practitioner, he may happen to kill. Happen to kill means not that he wanted to kill him only, but the person died in operation or whatever. Nobody blames him. So likewise, king should not be blamed. Then little ahead he says, the king is called Narendra, or the best amongst the human beings. How then could a king like Maharaj Parikshit be condemned by an inexperienced, puffed up son of a Brahmin, even though he had attained the powers of a qualified Brahmin? Since Shamik Rishi was an experienced good Brahmin, he did not approve of the actions of his condemned son. His Holiness Sachidanand Swami Maharaj tells how to know whether we are actually becoming humble or not, because here Shringi is acting arrogantly. So he gives three humility parameters. Before you sleep, you can check. First, how much did I serve others or took service from others? Before sleeping, we all do prayers on the bedding, Panchang Pranam. So then we can ask this question. From morning I got up, whatever time, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. From then till now, how much did I serve others or how much did I take service from others? Second, how much did I glorify other devotees or sought others' praise? Whether I glorified devotees or I was seeking other devotees should praise me. And third, how much did I think of Krishna and how much did I think of myself? So we should have served devotees more. Certainly, we might have taken some assistance from others because we are not all powerful. We do need assistance from others, but we should have overall served devotees more. And that regard, I'm very grateful to you all because you are giving opportunity to serve you all at once. I don't know how many, 15, 20, simultaneously in these 3, 4 hours. And then you are increasing my need to serve more and more devotees. Whether better and better, that I don't know, but at least more and more devotees. And second is how much we have glorified other devotees. So we should glorify devotees more, should not seek them glorifying us. And third is how much did we think of Krishna? Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. So Shami Rishi said, for a small offense, you have given him a great punishment. Commentary Chakravarti Path writes, the curse was not suitable. Atad arham. The sage spoke words to express his disapproval. The mummy's punishment. So he was not happy. This is injustice. This is not the way. First of all, this is not the way. King should never be punished, condemned. That too, ideal king, Rajarshi king, pure devotee king like Parikshit. And secondly, it's not an equal punishment also, proper matching. Offense is very small and the punishment is so huge. 42nd. Oh, my boy, your intelligence is immature, and therefore you have no knowledge that the king, who is the best amongst human beings, is as good as the personality of Godhead. He is never to be placed on an equal footing with common men. The citizens of the state live in prosperity, being protected by his unsurpassable prowess. He is glorifying, in general, a king. We cannot just. The rules, what are meant for other human beings, are not to be applied on the king. The 43rd, or okay, commentary Chakravarti says, Para refers to Vishnu, Akhya means fame. He has fame like Vishnu. You cannot consider him as equal to ordinary men. Now, more specifically, talking about Parikshit Maharaj, his fame is at par with Vishnu. So you cannot consider him as equal to some ordinary man. 43rd. My dear boy, the Lord who carries the will of a chariot is represented by the monarchical regime. And when this regime is abolished, the whole world becomes filled with thieves, who then at once vanquish the unprotected subjects like scattered lambs. The wheel of chariot Lord carries. It's like Kala Chakra also he carries. And he punishes. So king also is representative of the Supreme Lord only. In Naradev. In the middle, Prabhupada says, an ideal king thoroughly trained by culture and devotional service with the martial spirit makes a perfect king. So what all are requirements? He should be thoroughly trained by culture and devotional service. And also he should have skills, martial spirit. Then, so there should be skills and there should be devotion also. That three things about Arjun, SundarshyamPrabhu says. He was skilled, he was, one more thing. I don't remember now. Anybody remembers that story? Which story? Anyway, we'll not get into that. 44th. This section, I forgot to see. We are on 44th. 41 and 42 is Shamik Rishi regrets for the curse. 43 to 45, results of abolishing monarch. 32 to 50, this entire section, last section of this chapter, is talking about inexperienced Shrungi curses. Shamik Rishi regrets and prays for him. So 44th is talking about Brahmanical power. Proper use of Brahmanical power and abuse of Brahmanical power from historical perspective. Due to the termination of the monarchical regimes, and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And for all these sins, we shall be responsible, though not directly, indirectly. So, king is required. Listen, andho mein kana raja. So, even if the king is not very powerful, but the king is still required. We see in the case of this Vena. Though he was himself a rogue, worst of the uh, thieves in one sense, or dacoits. He himself was a dacoit. But when he was not there, there was so much disturbance. And when he was appointed as the king, though the sages were told, by Brahmins also, he is a dangerous one. But the king was required. Otherwise, these rogues, thieves were becoming very rampant and they were troubling the citizen. So he was appointed and he did his best in the sense. He drove them all away and he himself became the dacoit. He started harassing the people in the kingdom. So then there was no other option left than to kill him. So the sages killed him just by hunkar. That what do you call disapproving uh, words, not even words, gesture. And then he died. But then again, the rogues and thieves became prominent. So then his body was churned, and from him came Prutu, who was an ideal ruler. So uh, they should be protected, the kings and all that. So they are called, Brahmanas are called Bhudev. They are gods present on the earth, and king is called Naradev. Just like both, though they have to be working hand in hand. One devotee was telling the Brahman has three important qualities, three deeds. One is devotion. They should be highly devoted to Lord. Second is detachment. They are responsible in their duties, but overall they are detached from worldly enjoyment, worldly life. And third is determination. They should be very determined. We can see in India when before freedom, though Muslim rulers were there, or the British were there. So before freedom in India, there are around 50 slaughterhouses, and there are now more than 35,000. So what kind of rulers came? Then what not happened? Such certainly British people also they saw the root of Indian civilization is based very much on cows. So they themselves started the business of slaughtering. And then so many more opened up slaughterhouses and so many were killed. In the purport, Prabhupada says, the sage rightly takes the responsibility of the Brahmins as a community for killing monarchical government and thus giving an opportunity to the so-called democrats who are generally plunderers of the wealth of the state subjects. Chakradipa says the wealth of the people who are without a protector, Nashtanathasya, Nath, master, will be stolen and there is no, like just imagine in Pune there are no police only. No question of army, but no police also. Then so many stealing and so many things will murders will also happen. Now even those who are doing all those nasty things, they are very scared. They are trying to hide from the police and all that. And night time they will do. They will not openly do it in the daytime because they will be immediately caught. And night time also they know they might get caught, so they are using all their talents like that. So when the ruler is not there, people without a nath, without master, their property will be stolen. Because of this theft, sin will arise. Because of that sin, even though unrelated to us, ananvayam, we also will enter into sin. The sin is shown. They will kill each other, curse each other, and steal from each other, vrunjate, animals, women, and wealth. Even we have seen when Krishna and this Arjuna and others, they were in Virat King, and Draupadi was Sairandri. She was the, what you call, like maid servant for the queen of Virat King. So when Kichaka, the queen's brother, saw that, hey, this is a very beautiful girl, my sister's uh, maid servant kind of, so I want to enjoy her, and he tried to kidnap her and all that. So then anyway, she said, okay, you want to enjoy me? You come to such and such place. I'll be there and you can enjoy me. And she told Bhima, who was the cook in Virat's palace, so told that this fellow is there. So now you go. So then Bhima went and sat there with a sari like that. And Kichak came and Kichak said, please, Serandri, let me see your lotus face. And Bhima was saying no. Like that. After some time, then Bhima showed up and he was like shocked. My God, such a powerful Sairandri. And he's a male fellow. Where is she gone? And Bhima, my God, how he pulverized him. Whole body, bones, everything, he made a ball only. Pakka. And when people saw afterward dead body of Kichak, they were like, such a powerful warrior, who might have done this to him? Like that. Sairandri was ecstatic. बदतमीज, मुझे हाथ लगाने का प्रयास कर रहा था, देखा क्या हो. So even in the presence of husband sometime, or for that matter, this Draupadi getting disrobed, when her husband, 5 husbands, powerful husband, they are there, then also these rogues and thieves, try to steal the wife of others. Similarly, Ravan also. He knows that this lady is this Sita's husband, Ram. He's around somewhere. Anyway, he had only arranged Marish to take him away. And he's doing that. So much bad mentality is there with men in regard to stealing women, and similarly fighting with each other, cursing, etc. So in the absence of a proper ruler, a powerful ruler, this bad tendency would all the more increase. And we Brahmanas will be indirectly cause of this. We'll incur the sin because we only wiped out the rest of Kshatriyas, or at least the top ruler. So he's giving him some understanding that what are the consequences of your action. That means bad consequences, which he did not think of. Shringi just got carried away by his false ego. 45th. At that time, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of a progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagements of the castes and the orders of society and the Vedic injunctions. Thus, they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be an unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. So, Varnashram will be destroyed. Varnashrama Achara Yuta Straimaya. And people will be only acting for economic development, sense gratification. All that. Varana Sankara also will be there in one sense. Arjun also said, no, if I kill these men here, women will be unprotected in the palaces. And what do you call the rogues and thieves will misuse those women, and there will be unwanted population. Varana Sankara produce. So I don't want to fight. But that was Arjun. Krishna gave him proper vision. That will not happen. Varana Sankara will not be there. Next ideal king will be there. Certainly Yudhishthira Maharaj. And he will protect all the women. No women will be misused by anyone. The last lines of the purport, he says, a degraded civilization of sense gratification and economic development is the byproduct of a godless or kingless government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The people should not therefore begrudge the poor administrations they themselves elect. Previously, we discussed to some extent. So what, without proper godless or kingless government, what it does? Only economic development and sense gratification. So now that so-called we have this government now, but then because it's a democracy, not a monarchy. Monarchy means one powerful Rajarshi. Dictatorship is different. That is a monarchy. Monarchy is guided by Brahmanas, body of Brahmanas, like Shivaji Maharaj and many other in the earlier ages. So he would be properly guiding, ruling according to the scriptures, Guru Sadhu Shastra. But otherwise, this democracy means so many Shudras and they have their things to say and votes to pass or whatever that resolutions to pass. And then so much of danger, trouble in the society. So one devotee was saying economic development is lust organized on mass scale. Yes or not? That only. Material nature punishes everyone anyway, but one who takes that punishment seriously approaches the Lord. Mixed castes will arise from the dogs, for the dogs and monkeys absorbed in in money and women. 46th. The Emperor Parikshit is a pious king. He is highly celebrated and a first-class devotee of the personality of Godhead. He is a saint amongst royalty, and he has performed many horse sacrifices. When such a king is tired and fatigued, being stricken with hunger and thirst, he does not at all deserve to be cursed. So he's coming down to that in particular incident also. And anybody in such kind of thing may behave a little wrongly or whatever. But for that, he doesn't deserve to be cursed. In third line, Prabhupada said the specific qualification of Maharaj Parikshit is summarized herein. The king, even calculated as a king only, was most celebrated as a ruler who administered the religious principles of the royal order. And last line, Rishi Shamik, a Brahman, took responsibility for all deterioration of the good orders of the world. So he's taking the blame on himself. He was not at fault by saying that. Because of us, there will be problem. They say king can do no wrong. But today's kings do everything wrong. And kings would do no wrong because they would be surrendered to the Lord. That's how they would never do wrong. Chakravarti says, having said that he should not be cursed simply because he is the king, the sage now explains other reasons why he should not be cursed. 47th. Then the Rishi prayed to the all-pervading personality of Godhead to pardon his immature boy who had no intelligence and who committed the great sin of cursing a person who was completely free from all sins, who was subordinate and who deserved to be protected. In the second paragraph, Prabhupada writes, a question may be raised herein that since it was the desire of the Lord that Parikshit Maharaj be put into that awkward position so that he might be delivered from material existence, then why was a Brahman son made responsible for this offensive act? The answer is that the offensive act was performed by a child only so that he could be excused very easily. And thus the prayer of the father was accepted. Isn't it? Oh, okay. Small boy commits a mistake. Not a problem. So Lord's arrangement only as such. So that's why he was used. And that's why Father's prayer is also accepted. But if the question is raised why the Brahman community as a whole was made responsible for allowing Kali into the world affairs, the answer is given in the Varaha Puran that the demons who acted inimically toward the personality of Godhead but were not killed by the Lord were allowed to take birth in the families of Brahmins to take advantage of the age of Kali. The all merciful Lord gave them a chance to have their births in the families of pious Brahmins so that they could progress towards salvation. But the demons, instead of utilizing the good opportunity, misused the Brahmanical culture due to being puffed up by vanity in becoming Brahmins. So Lord had arranged for the deliverance of what do you call demons to be born next time in Brahmin family, but true to their nature, they just did not use it. Rather, they created further problems. Chakravarti says, seeing no other means of atonement because of the seriousness of the sin committed by son, explaining the sin, he prays to the Lord. 48th is important verse. You can repeat after me. Tiraskrita vipralabdaha shaptaha kshiptaha api nasya tat pratikurvanti tadbhaktaha prabhavopihi. The devotees of the Lord are so forbearing, that means tolerant, that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. How many of you are devoted like that? You are all, but how will you raise hand? Because that will break your supreme principle of humility. So, tiraskrita. See the word meaning. Being defamed. Somebody is defaming you. Somebody on the first floor is saying, "Are kya ye Prabhu?" I'll not take the name. Let's say SundarshyamPrabhu, the rascal number one. What does he think of himself? Every time he takes the mic, hmm, most attached or something like that. So how will you respond? Tiraskrita, vipralabdha. You are cheated. Hmm. Your toilet kit is stolen. And somebody has overwritten on your name his name, like that in care of, like that. Huh? I'm cheated. Now you can always get new toilet kit, newer one with all the new things, toothpaste, toothbrush, toothpaste, etc. But we are so much feeling the possessiveness, cheated, cursed. Cursed would be like too much. Somebody says here and also there, little bit. Devotees feel so bad. Disturb, Shipta. Shipta is translated. You see, Vipralabdha is being cheated, being defamed is Tiraskrita. Shapta is being cursed. But Shipta is translated differently. Disturbed by negligence. Being neglected is not the translation. See amazingly. Who was pointing it out? Kala Chakra Krishna Prabhu when he came, if you remember. How many of you attended his Bhagavatam class? Only two. Nobody else. Recently he came, na? Kala Chakra Krishna Prabhu. Gave Bhagavatam class. So three of us were there. So he said this when he quoted this verse. You see how the translation is given by Prabhupada. Everywhere being this, being that. Similarly, Shipta could have been translated as being neglected. But he's not translating them. Disturbed by negligence. So of all this, if somebody defames you, somebody cheats you, somebody curses you, it is not as painful. It will not disturb as much as when neglected, when somebody neglects you. It's very painful. Prabhupada, it is said in his anger, there were 3 degrees. The first degree would be, you would be so angry and you would be chastising, you fool, you rascal, this and that. He would left and right to the devotee. Then second level, what was that? Second level, anybody remembers? Third level, I remember. This is worst. Huh? He maybe second level, he'll not look at the devotee. I don't know whether Prabhupada did that. But third, when he's extremely angry with the devotee, he will, let's say, Prabhu, means don't feel bad. Narahari Thakur Prabhu is there. And behind him, Pranjal Prabhu is there. So I will, now he's a little bit here, but let's say he's behind. So I talk to Pranjal Prabhu the way there is nothing in between. As if Prabhu doesn't exist in the middle. He'll feel so bad. Prabhupada is not looking only at me. I am here fully present. Before him, he's behind, I am ahead. But Prabhupada would talk to the devotee and the middle devotee is completely neglected. So that person has to be fully purified. He would get purified. Even Hatha, somebody kills also, that is also not that painful. You don't remain only to experience pain. You are killed only. But this Shikta is most worst of all that. But the devotee does not avenge. He does not want to take revenge and all that. In the commentary, he writes, since he was the king, he could counter curse and make the first curse ineffective. Whatever, 7 days he will die, he could have made it ineffectual. And he could have counter cursed also. Similarly, in Chitraketu and Parvati story also. When Chitraketu was cursed by Parvati to be born as a demon. So he had the ability to counter curse or make the curse ineffectual. But they did not do that. This did not happen because Parikshit was a great devotee. Though criticized, cheated, insulted, and beaten, they do not react. Though they are capable, prabhavaha, they do not take countermeasures against those who criticize or scold. When personally one is offended, criticize or whatever, one should accept it. Amanina, manana. When other devotees are under attack or whatever, then we should protect them. But otherwise, personal whatever, we should be able to, we should not counter curse, counter attack. All those things should not be done. When attacked, he accepted it. Blood was flowing. was making his whatever uttari blood tainted or chest was becoming bloody. He did not. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who himself said, Amanina Manadina, he became furious. He immediately invoked Sudarshan, was about to chop off the heads of Jaga and Madai. But Nityananda Prabhu said, Oh Lord, please, we are not here in Kali Yuga to kill people, but to kill their demoniac tendencies in their hearts. ईट का जवाब पत्थर से, that is not the formula. Isn't it? Very difficult to follow this. 49th. The sage thus regretted the sin committed by his own son. He did not take the insult paid by the king very seriously. Last lines. Actually, it was the desire of the Lord, and Maharaj Parikshit, Rishi Shamik, and his son Shringi were all instrumental in fulfilling the desire of the Lord. So none of them were put into difficulty because everything was done in relation with the Supreme Person. So Shringi did not get cursed or punished. Shamik, anyway faultless, he also continued his devotional. And Parikshit went back to God. He got to hear from purest of the pure. Next chapter we'll hear the glories of Shukdev Goswami. From such a person who was not available for any grahastha for more than 5 minutes or so, Parikshit got him for 24/7 at a stretch. So everybody got blessed because Lord's arrangement. Chakravartipad says he did not think it an offense when the king treated him badly. And last verse of this chapter says, generally the transcendentalists, even though engaged by others in the dualities of the material world, are not distressed, nor do they take pleasure in worldly things, for they are transcendentally engaged. Last line say, the king was a devotee and the rishi was a mystic. Therefore, both of them were unattached to the accidental incident created by the supreme will. The playful child was an instrument in fulfilling the Lord's will. So, accidental incident. Just see. For both, it is very severe in one sense. Grossly, physically for Parikshit, whose body is going to get lost in 7 days. And for Shamik Rishi, that my son, what a disgrace that he cursed such a pure devotee, Rajarshi, the emperor, who is the well-wisher, protector of everybody, all human beings and other living beings also. So it was mentally a big, what you call, difficult thing for him. But by the grace of the Lord, by the blessings of the Lord, they took it as accidental incident. Shamik Rishi also understood Lord has a plan to take Parikshit back to Godhead. And Parikshit took it that there was no other way. I would have been relieved from all these worldly, social, kingly duties. And this was the best way Lord arranged. I'm very grateful. That will be revealed in the next chapter. How Parikshit took it up. Since they do not take shelter of material happiness and distress, generally the devotees in the world, on experiencing distress and happiness by others' action, do not become agitated and do not rejoice, since they do not take shelter of material happiness and distress. So for us, one thing works, which is also a flaw. When others praise us or are very nice to us, we're very happy. Oh, ISKCON is so nice. Devotees are so nice. Or ISKCON Pune temple or Brahmachari ashram is so nice. I'm very happy because all devotees are nice to me. So this is a flaw. Because material happiness is delightful to us. That's why to the degree we are delighted by the nice treatment of devotee, to that degree only we will be troubled when some devotee or even one devotee is not good with us. He is neglecting you or he speaks some things about you to some other devotee. And that devotee comes to you, Prabhu, you know, such and such Prabhu said that you are selfish, you're egoistic or something like that. What? How dare of him? So to the degree we are delighted in happiness, to that degree we'll be distressed in miserable, means such kind of insults and all that. So that should not be the case. Devotees should not be rooted in material existence. Padmapatra Ivambasa. Krishna says in 5th chapter that they are like lotus leaf growing in mud or staying in mud but untouched by mud. So like that should be our existence. It's like Achinta Bheda Ved Tattva. We are in this world, but we are not in this world. One brahmachari, I tell him many times, he's elderly, that think that it is 2060, 2060 is going on. And then I ask him, where would you be? He says, not in this body. And you tell him that's it. So think it is not 2024, it is 2060. That means you are dead. Then anybody insults you, anybody speaks ill of you, dead body does not respond. Then today I told him that if only you behave like that few more years, we'll give you sannyas. Because sannyas means civil death. It doesn't matter to him. Whether you insult him or you praise him, he is not stuck in this material world. His consciousness is in supreme. He is not, happiness does not delight him. Means he doesn't become delightful, elated in happiness, nor does he get miserable in distress. He's equipoised. That is the sannyasi. Yes, any question? Yes. Standard. Which standard?
ये वाला क्या कहते हैं तिरस्कृता विप्रलब्धा शक्ता शक्ता हता अपि. So it seems that people know that devotees are like this. So
Outsiders may exploit us. No, we should not allow them to exploit, because our body and the so-called possessions, they are Krishna's property. So we don't allow others to exploit us. But among devotees, if somebody is insulting you or cheating you, then you need to exert your superior qualities in terms of this quality. There is the test. So that is allowed, understood. Outsiders, we don't allow. Yes, any other? Anything online? Any question? You two are only representing the whole class, I think. One of you will definitely have a question. It should be. Asking
just
question
like
is a sign of intelligence.
Parikshit Maharaj is repenting, and Shungi Rishi has also realized that's why he was crying.
Shamik Rishi.
No, sorry. Shungi
Shringi is his son.
Shungi was crying. So that means they mentioned that he understood he's committed mistake. So he also realized, but many times we have that egoistic stand, and many times we don't realize that I am at fault, and it is offense in our baggage, and it holds us to go ahead in bhakti. And we could not realize also that I have done mistake. I have mistake on something. I have done some mistake or offense. So how
don't
to
accept.
I don't realize only I have done offense or something. So how to come out of such
you cannot come out of yourself if you are convinced that I was never wrong.
Yeah, that's the point.
So that's why basically one has to be submissive to devotees and hear from them scriptures, scriptural advice. So either Shastra or Shastra. Otherwise, Maya's kicks. So if we are not ready to get rectified by hearing, then Maya has her own ways. Krishna also will be helpless because we are not taking shelter or ready to take advice of his representatives. Then Maya's representatives will purify us.
Another question is, most of the time we heard that superiors, we have to follow superiors. But many times it may be possibility that their superiors are at fault. And we have
But
heard,
as long as they are guiding you based on Guru Sadhu Shastra, you can follow them. And as far as they are wrong part of guidance, that Krishna will work on them also. Krishna will purify them. That is none of our businesses. Just like once in, I think it was American Navy. So the person who was on the warship, so he saw another warship coming from a distance. And what the Navy top head, whatever that person, Admiral, somebody. So he saw, Commander CNC. He knows better. I think he was in Navy. Prabhu was in Navy earlier. So his ship got landed at Karwar, I think. And his whole body also became brahmachari in Karwar temple. Because Karwar, he was in war earlier, naval war. But anyway, so there, the admiral or whoso top person, he said, shoot to the subordinate. And the subordinate was a little confused. What is this warship? So he said, sir, should we wait for some time before we shoot? Because he was feeling something fishy there. But the top head person was a little arrogant and said, I told you, shoot, shoot. Then immediately he shot and they destroyed the whole warship. And after some time, they came to know it was their country's warship only, was coming to supply them food and other things. And now it became a court case. So both of them are in that court thing. So then judge, after analyzing the whole thing, he said because the subordinate, though he was little doubtful of whether that ship is whether to wait. So he expressed himself, but when he was told, ordered to shoot, he shot. So he is promoted in the hierarchy. And this top person, he did not use his intelligence properly. He should have waited for some time. He should have that sense to know which warship is coming, ours or somebody. So he should have waited, but he did not. So he is removed from the job and with some punishment also. So what the story shows, that if you are a follower and even if your top person is wrong, still you will make progress. Understand? And the top person, he is wrong because he is representing Guru Sadhu Shastra. If he is wrong, then he will get demoted. So as long as our superior is telling as per the scripture, he is not telling you to eat meat, he is not telling you to gamble or have illicit sex. So you can follow. And as far as his egoistic pleasure, that Krishna will deal with it. Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरे कृष्ण।